and welcome out to this week's episode of Gamers Council. I'm your host, WEBDAVE, along with Rhetri. What's up, buddy? How
I don't know what's going on over there.
you doing? We got the who let the dogs
I
out. I
don't.
love it. I love it.
I'm guessing that's Dragon because he's shaking his head.
No, that's all good. It's all good. It's real
What's
life.
going on, guys? Good to be here. Good start. Good start. So listen. We're using new software tonight, so hopefully things will go smooth. It took us. We hit some little bumps in the beginning over here, so we'll try to make sure this thing runs as smooth as possible. We're using a brand new software here called EVMUX, so bear with us, guys. It could be a long one tonight, but it'll be a fun one.
It'll be good.
Thanks for coming out. We got Pong Soul and 108 Dragons here. What's going on, guys?
Man, so awesome. Pong, welcome, buddy. Welcome, man. Appreciate you being here, buddy.
Of course. No, honored by the invite as always. And I haven't been on a show with Lemon in for a long time, man. One of the best in the biz. I love him, man. It's been a while since he jumped into one of our chats, during Xbox. So great to be here with him. Great to be here with both of you, obviously, Rhetri and Dave. Love you guys. 100%. And man, what a time, man. It feels like the last month has just been nonstop. We come off Gamers Christmas, and next thing you know, we got the FTC delivering a bunch of craziness in the courtroom.
You think we'll have anything to talk about tonight?
Yeah, we might have a few things to talk about.
Maybe.
Let's go.
108 Dragons TV, buddy. How you doing, sir?
Life is good, man. I'm sorry the dog interruption, but my daughter was going to get my seltzer water.
You're good. Man. You're good.
You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all for the invite. And of course, Pong, man, we ain't did it in a long time, so it's good to be here. Y'all two dudes is awesome. Web, listen, man. I apologize for missing last time, man. So
it's okay.
Oh, you're good. It was a holiday, dude. We get it.
Yeah, it was kind of rough.
Yeah.
But we here. I can't wait to jump into these topics because we got plenty to talk about, and it's definitely this year has to be one of the greatest years to be a gamer with all the stuff that's dropping. So it's a good look. It's a good look.
I think I'll start by saying this one thing that Pong Soul always says. What is it? This is the
golden age of gaming, folks.
That's exactly. Right. And if this ain't true, holy crap, man. This is amazing year. It's going to be an amazing year. Rhetri, what do you got to start us off with?
Yeah, we're going to jump right in. I'm just going to ask you guys what games you're playing, any new TV shows or movies that is interesting you right now. But we'll start off with Pong. What games are you playing, brother?
It's Diablo, and it's Diablo, and it's Diablo. That's where I'm at right now. Yes.
Yeah.
Normally I'm the grazer, right? So normally I come in here with about 10, 11 games that I'm playing. Diablo is one of those games, man. It has absolutely hit every single mark that I wanted from it. And we are having such a blast running every night. Like normally normally during the week, I'm usually a single player guy because I get home from work and I just want to chill out and I'm talking to people all day.
You're very much like me, Pong. I graze just like you, and then I leave the weekends up to play with my homeboys and stuff. I do the exact same thing that you do. I'm like, look, the week is mine. The weekend is with y'all.
Right.
But yeah.
But Diablo changed all that. Yeah, Diablo changed all that, right? I'm getting home. As soon as I get settled in, I'm popping on, seeing who's online, and we're grouping up, obviously, and just having a great time. I'm level 75 now, and we've just been rocking through nightmare dungeons after nightmare dungeons, beat some world bosses, and just trying to get my class stronger because I'm in endgame, right? So that's what it's all about now is finding those 1-2 pieces that make a difference. But that loop for me never gets old, right? I love looters, and this is like the ultimate looter right now. So yeah, I've been doing that. Otherwise, TV and movies, nothing. I rarely watch TV and movies anymore because if I'm going to be doing that, I'm gaming. That's just who I am now at this point in my life. I used to be huge movie buff. He used to be in all the TV shows, but nowadays I just rather game. So that's where I'm at with that.
I hear you. Dragon, brother, what are you playing?
You know what's crazy? I had a serious itch for a new shooter, and I was not happy with Overwatch 1.5.
Yeah. Speak on it, yeah.
That damn X-Defiant is Overwatch with regular guns because each character got special abilities.
Really?
Yes.
I'm very interested in X-Defiant. It looks like something I might get into after I'm done with all these other games. But yeah.
Diablo, of course, but I haven't been putting in that footwork because I have a problem. These damn first-person shooters and these season passes with Halo and Battlefield dropping. I've been spreading myself and my life real thin. Besides playing with this damn thing. So,
Nice.
Yo, let me tell you what's
Beautiful
crazy. Let me
kit
tell you
right
how
there.
fantastic this thing is. That got me rejuvenated. I play games like I do on my TV and my Xbox on the go with that fidelity. So I'm playing games that I've been playing, but it just feels brand new because it's not in my house. So it kind of rejuvenated my gaming because I'm not a portable gamer. So, I thought the Switch was inferior. It didn't look too good, on the go. But this,
Right.
with me returning back to work every day, because you playing at a high fidelity. I was playing Madden on the go, like I can't believe this. So, kind of gave me a boost. Maybe it's a new toy, new feeling, but it feels good. So,
Nice.
I've been doing that. That's what. And movies, I saw The Flash because I collect a lot of.
Oh, you
4K
did?
movies.
Okay. I'm hearing. What did you think about The Flash? Because I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. Your expression kind of.
I'm gonna tell you what's the problem, right? I don't like to tell people movies are not good. It wasn't that it wasn't good, but they had so many hype commercials and cutscenes and trailers. And when I saw the movie, I said, okay, it's not bad. It's not bad as Wonder Woman. So it's not that bad, but
You mean the second Wonder Woman, right? I'm guessing you like.
I didn't like the
Did you like
first
the
one because I
first-
still
You
don't
did?
know who
Oh,
the
you
dude
did
was.
it? Really?
Yeah, listen,
Okay.
I want y'all. All right, I'm gonna ask you. Sounds like you like it. So explain to me
I
the
did.
guy who was the guy sniffing the grenades.
Who's?
Thank you.
I don't remember.
Yo, Pong, nobody answers that question.
It was been so
Well,
long. All I
I
know
guess
is I remember I loved
it was
it,
a
but I
while
don't
ago.
remember the grenade
Yeah.
guy.
Look,
I don't
don't
remember the
I don't
grenade
either.
guy.
I'm a big
I don't
movie
remember
buff.
that.
Big movie buff. And all right, I am going to say this: the second one was trash. The first one is not as bad anymore after seeing the second one. So
No, the
maybe
second
I'll
one's
pick that
terrible.
Blu-ray up because I surely
So
won't buy
bad.
it. But I
Yeah.
thought the Flash was not as bad as people give it, right? But it just was. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
They was trying to pull in every Batman that existed. Like I was like every Superman that existed. I said, yo, y'all just ODing. Y'all just want to create a new universe by any means necessary. That's what it was like. So I'm gonna buy it on 4K Blu-ray. Usually I don't buy nothing I don't want to own, but DC's in trouble. Like they can't figure it out. They can't. After Justice League and Superman, which was awesome, Aquaman, which was awesome, I think they're in trouble. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a Blue Beetle guy. It looks all right, but
I actually think
I'ma
that
go
looks
see it.
halfway decent, but I
I'ma
don't
go see
know.
it.
I could be
I'ma go
wrong.
see it.
I've been
Listen.
wrong before.
listen, it is what it is.
Yeah. Hey, it happens. It's
The
the Flash.
Aquaman 2 is up next for the DC universe. So
They need to
Is
make
that
the
what's
Ben
next in
Affleck
line?
Batman
Okay.
movie and stop playing. Give us what we asked for. Don't give us what you think we asked for.
Yeah.
It is
I think
what
they
it
would
is.
have learned from Marvel. Not that Marvel's, hitting high for me lately either, but it is what it
Doing
is.
way better
but-
than them. 'Cause
Yeah,
Flash flopped.
I don't think it's comparable. Flash
I don't
definitely
think I don't
flopped.
think Marvel has a flop yet. They have a complete flop. It did less than Black Adam.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
bad.
Black Adam is considered a flop. I said, damn.
know.
I like Black Adam. I'll tell you that.
I like Black
Poster
Adam
right
too.
there, right there. It's a poster.
Yo, listen,
I thought
I
it was
loved
alright.
it. I loved
I
it.
didn't think
When
it
he
was
got
bad.
in Fortnite, I made that purchase.
There you go.
That's how they get you. Those
Facts.
damn epic guys. Yeah, RSJ. Yeah, I loved the first Wonder Woman too. It was pretty good. It's kind of like it's almost like you say for DC are the words that come after, because
Right.
you can't compare it to Marvel movies. They're like blah 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 blah. It was good. ... for DC. But it is what it is. But let's move on because I want to kind of go through these topics, which usually I usually put these at the end of the show, but I'm going to put these quick topics that we're going to talk about real fast at the beginning because we need to get into FTC versus Microsoft and the court case because there's just so much to talk about that. It's kind of ridiculous. But I just want to start off with everyone's thoughts on this quick little topic, and that's Xbox raising the prices of the console and Game Pass. So we've got a $50 increase for the console and $1 and $2 increase for Game Pass itself. Obviously, we're not getting the increase in the United States for the console, but we're getting the increase pretty much everywhere, as far as I saw, for Game Pass itself. Do you guys think this is going to make a difference? I put out a poll there just to see, gauging on Twitter what everyone was thinking about this. Naturally, I kind of expected my audience to say, no, I'm not going anywhere. I think it was like 74% or something like that. Said they're sticking with it. They don't care about the price increase. And then I asked, of course, the question, well, did a lot of you pay ahead? And that was the second most popular thing. A lot of people have paid years ahead because they were smart enough to know that this might be coming. Do you think this is going to affect Microsoft, Pong, on long term for Game Pass? Do you think this price increase is a big deal, or do you think it's a big nothing burger?
As far as affecting them, no, it's not going to affect them. Most people will dismiss this. Most people still feel Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. So no, nobody's going to go anywhere over $1 or $2. I've said that for me personally, again, I understand the business side of it. I get all that. I'm not here to change anybody's mind, but from a pure consumer standpoint, I think it sucks. I think it's BS. When a company is, out here every quarter, touting how much more money than they're making than ever before. I will always say that. I said that about Sony. I say that about Nintendo still charging $300 for the Switch after all these years. I think it's all garbage as a pure consumer standpoint. But is it going to make me cancel my Game Pass? No, of course not. No. Game Pass is still the best deal in gaming going. I just hate when every single time the costs are passed down to us. At this point in the generation too, with the with the consoles, this is when we're supposed to be seeing slim down versions. This is when we're supposed to be seeing price cuts.
This is where we're supposed to say, the savings are supposed to be coming on, not the opposite.
Not the opposite. So, for me, I think it's all BS. And I wish Microsoft would have been the one to steal King David's line, of course, hold the line a little bit longer, and kind of, because again, I know inflation affects companies and businesses. I get it. Shareholders don't care about us. I know that. I get all that part. But, we as the consumers with the inflation suffer more than any $1 trillion company does.
Absolutely.
So, I just would have loved to see them, stick to their guns and kind of eat that cost or find a different way, because they're such a huge company. There's different ways they could have probably gone about this. But again, I'm not here to change anybody's mind. It's just my opinion. I think it sucks. And I will always stand on that hill when it comes to these things, whether it's 50 cents or whether it's $50, doesn't matter to me. I think it's stupid. But overall, nah. This ain't going to hurt Microsoft at all. Again, Starfield's coming. They're now part of the Avalanches starting up now with all their gaming. This is the time to do it prior to the ABK deal going through. And all that good stuff. And obviously family, Game Pass family is still coming. Friends and family is still coming. So they're going to, I wish they would have dropped that news along with this. That might have, softened a little bit. But
soften it.
Soften a little bit, but that's still coming. And that's going to be a huge savings to a lot of people at the end of the day. Even if the $25 now is maybe not $25, maybe we're creeping towards $30. It's still, it's a great deal if you got 5 people, right? That's $6 a month. I mean, that's nothing. So that's where I'm at with it. And I think they're going to be just fine, Rhetri. Let's put it that way.
I know they'll be fine. Dragon, what do you think, brother? Do you think people might in mass exodus say screw Xbox Game Pass and leave it, or do you think a couple of dollars is not going to affect
You ever heard this saying? What they say about Xbox players is diabetic gaming. You heard that phrase before, right? Diabetic gaming.
Oh yeah.
Cut your Game Pass off and see what happens to your gaming catalog.
Right.
Let's see how much that $1 and $2 means something once you cut it off, right?
Yeah.
And those games stop working. But let's be real here. We know why they did it. They wanted to do this before the ABK deal because they said they wouldn't raise it once it went through. So you have to do it now. You can't do it we almost at the approval stage, right? And they did state we will not raise Game Pass prices for at least 5 years if we get this deal done. So when else was they going to do it, right? If you had no opportunity to do it. Plus, I'm paying $20 for Game Pass if necessary because the value is crazy. Starfield alone is worth the $20. You feel what I'm saying? Listen,
absolutely.
If not to say everybody have it, right? Somebody told me, yo, Lemon, they should get rid of Game Pass General, just make everybody do Ultimate. I said, no. You always give people an option. And listen, we all know Sony's charging $18.99 over there
Yeah.
for premium to stream games at 50 hertz on 60 hertz TVs over here. Nobody ain't saying nothing over there. So listen, I'm not mad. Nobody ain't going nowhere. You're gonna get some people. Oh, it raised my thing $2. You're gonna look real crazy complaining about $2 extra. So I don't see too many people going out there really. You know, there may be some little stutters about it, but come on, we all know the value of Game Pass. We all know how many third-party day one deals, AAA games that we get in this year alone.
A ton.
All right,
A
so
ton.
listen, it's part of inflation, like Pong said. Pong touched on a lot of great things, so I'm not going to repeat what he said, but come on, we have to be real here. Ain't not one of us on this panel is going to unsubscribe.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dude, I'm good to 2026. So they got me.
I'm one of those too.
Yep.
So it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave, I know you're not going anywhere. So.
Oh no, nope. But apparently
Yeah,
your
you're-
long lost brother's in the chat, and he wants you to sign up
Yes.
for Family Plan as soon as
I see my brother, Rhetri, long lost brother.
That's too funny.
I'm 99% sure I know who that is. So talk to you later.
Blood related. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. First of all, welcome out to everybody that's in the chat. Thank you so much. There's over 60 people in the chat right now. Thank you so much for being here. We greatly appreciate you. I know a lot of people will jump over after Fonz's show ends, and we love the Fonz, man. He is amazing. I'm gonna have to sit down and talk to him one day about some kind of overflow
Collab
flow.
show,
Like,
that's
yeah,
what we gotta
exactly.
do.
Where like he jumps on our show after he gets done, because I would love that. But we'll figure that out one of these days. But yeah, so a lot of new things going on with us today. We're trying out a new software called EVMUX. A lot of little glitches going on, little weird things going on. It's just because we're not used to how things work on this, but we're trying it out.
Yep.
I moved Pong and Dragon up so that
So we won't block him.
We won't block them when we, yeah, exactly. It's like, that's kind of hated when our guest is on and we got big things going across there. They cover me up because I'm fugly, but I won't see these guys when they talk. So, so a lot of little things like that. But we'll get the bugs worked out. So appreciate your patience with us. But if you have comments or questions for the guys, let us know. Also, Pong, I was gonna make and Dragon and you too. You guys moderators in the chat, just so if you needed to, you could boot somebody anytime you ever wanted to. But Pong, you on so many different channels that I don't know what your actual YouTube channel is. So one of these days you're gonna have to copy the link to your YouTube channel and send it to me.
No problem.
And then I will, because I was looking, it's like, that's not Pong, what the hell? So so one of these days, just maybe here, or maybe here in a little bit, just cut and paste it, send it in the private chat, and I'll fix
problem.
you up. So
Sounds good.
but I
That's
did
a
try.
damn shame, Pong. You my god, and I don't even know you had a channel.
I really don't. I got to log in. Obviously, I've got YouTube,
Exactly.
but I don't have my
Come
channel
on,
up and
Dan.
running.
Look
Yet.
at that Dave, like, he got a channel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the channel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you have
Surprise.
to
Damn,
have
I
the
feel bad.
quote-unquote
God
channel.
damn.
The channel's
beyond.
coming now that I got the PC. Right, the channel's coming. So eventually,
Sweet.
yes, I will. So yes.
Well, if you need
absolutely.
guests, me and Rhetri will volunteer.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
He's
Whatever you
like,
need,
no,
brother.
that's
Technical
we're on the
assistance, I
ban
got you.
list,
Anything.
probably.
Got you.
Oh goodness. Rhetri, sorry to derail the show there.
No, you're good.
But yeah, so I'll let you jump on to the next topic, man. This is so exciting. I love this.
Yeah, so this next little thing is just the news that Flintlock Siege of Dawn has been delayed until 2024. Not a big deal, honestly. I'm kind of like good, because there's just too much to play for me personally this year. That will be obviously coming day and date to Game Pass, so it's just something I want to mention to our audience. If anyone did not know that is going on, and some other stuff that I don't know if anyone follows this stuff, but I thought this was kind of cool. That Kick streaming platform signs XQC. If you don't know this crazy Canadian, he's a crazy guy that was really popular on Twitch, streaming all kinds of games, and he got a 2-year contract worth $70 million plus another $30 million in incentives to go over from to switch the Kick platform, essentially. So that's what's happening on the streaming platform. And if you don't know who this person is, Amaranth, which is not working. Oh, there it is. Amaranth follows suit, so she's also going to be joining Kick as well for an undisclosed amount. I have no doubt that's worth millions upon millions of dollars. But I don't know if anyone streams or if anyone's interested in this sort of stuff. But obviously, there's a lot of money in this stuff because they are taking over XQC and giving them, I think, the most amount of money I've ever seen, actually, when it comes to streaming deals. So I thought that was kind of cool if you're in that sort of stuff. The last pointed thing I want to point out here before we move on is that Avowed was not even in the alpha stage yet on what we saw. And dev, they're saying that this is fine, that this is actually going to be the longest alpha / beta stage that they've ever been in, which I think is cool. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this about Avowed specifically being in the alpha stage itself, but it kind of sounds like it's not really. I think a lot of people took this as bad news, like, oh my God, you're not even in alpha stage. Like, how is this coming out next year? But it sounds like, according to the dev, this is actually good news because they're going to be able to test this out longer than they have ever have any game. Do you guys have any thoughts about Avowed not even being in the alpha stage on what we saw?
It's again, there's no universal timeline for alpha or beta or any of them during the devs. It's up to the devs to determine that. This is Obsidian. I have zero I have zero concerns at all. Again, from what I saw, it looked like an Obsidian game. I understand there was polishing to do. That's one of the things I did point out, that sure there be some polishing, but we're a year or more out from Avowed. So no, I don't have any concerns. I think that Obsidian's doing their thing. If they decide to keep it alpha in-house for their testing purposes, great. Go right for it. I don't care if it's an alpha 2 days before it launches. As long as it's launching and it looks great, who cares? As a gamer, I don't care. And I liked what I saw on the screen at the showcase from Obsidian, and they're one of my favorite developers out there. So listen, the pre-download just went live yesterday. So I've got Avowed already pre-downloaded, right? So pretty crazy. I think they're on track. And I think we will see this next year in 2024. I know there was some people kind of, well, maybe it's 2025. Do we really think they're going to hit next year?
No.
This is Obsidian. They know what they're doing. They're wizards. They pump out games left and right. They're a lot like Insomniac over at Sony. This is not going to be a problem for them. We will see Avowed next year, in my estimation, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Dragon, any thoughts on this this Avowed thing not being an alpha stage yet? You think it matters? Do you think it's a big deal, or is this just people talking out the side of their mouths?
These games need time. First of all, let me laugh. Somebody called me Lemonious in the chat. That's why I was laughing. And
Lemonious? Pause.
That Dan Dirt Griggity said that on Iron Lord's podcast with 1,200 people watching. He got everybody calling me Lemonious. You know what? Y'all crazy. I love the chat, man. I love the chat. That's why I just started laughing. I'm sorry for laughing.
No, I saw that. I knew what it was about.
Let me say this. When they showed that game, it looked amazing. So if that is pre-alpha, and we know the work that they're doing, and they also working on Outer Worlds too. Remember, we got that. It's done when it's done at the end of last year's show. So listen, these devs need more time. We want these AAA games. We trying to get as least as bugs as possible. We cannot rush greatness for any company, right? You want them to put out a product that you're satisfied with, right? You don't want these games running crazy. You don't want to have a performance mode that's just horrendous just to say you have it. Do the best you can in the frame rates and the resolutions that you can. Take your time with the game. Put out a polished product. Because at the end of the day, we're spending our money, right? Don't give me a TV with no remote. You know what I'm saying? I need the whole thing. If it ain't ready, don't put it out. And what we saw, if that is pre-alpha, that is great news, because look how the game was displayed to us. That was amazing. So I don't have no worries. I have complete faith in them guys, man. And like I said, they're working on 2 games. So
yeah, absolutely.
They'll be fine. And so will the Xbox people, because I don't know. Well, preloading it is really like 356 kilobytes, like a placeholder, but it's a good look, man. It'll be fine. And even if it pushes to 2025, nobody's going to be mad, because then when a game comes out and it doesn't perform is when you're really mad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So
we don't need that anymore.
They need.
Yeah, we don't
Gotta
need that
wait.
anymore. We're on a new Xbox track here now, right? They gave Starfield the extra time that they needed, and obviously we saw the difference in that from 1 year ago. And so the same thing goes here. I just thought it was interesting though, Lemon and Rhetri and Dave. I don't know if you guys were caught off guard with those pre-downloads, Clockwork Revolution, Revolution being there. That was really strange. Is Xbox showing us their roadmap? Really soon.
I mean,
we've never seen this kind of happen. It's kind of crazy.
No, not this far ahead. Like I actually, when the people talked about Avowed and I saw it on Twitter today, I didn't believe it. I was like, what do you mean you can preload? How can you preload Avowed already? And then I looked, I was like, holy crap, it's sitting there. Okay. So I think it might be onto something, Pong. I think they just kind of let us know, here's what's coming up, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever was in there for preload. So I think you might be onto something there.
But let me add to that.
Yeah, go for it.
They had these companies for 5.5 years. It's about time, though.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. It ain't
100%.
like they've been sitting. If they buy Activision, they ain't got no time frame with Activision, right?
Right.
They had Bethesda for a minute now. You got to start putting out some games and start showing where you spent that $7 billion. You can't just say, "Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming. Oh, next year we got you." Wait, after that. Eventually, you got to put up or shut up, and that's what they did. So, look,
no, you're absolutely right. And the 2018 studios, right, Lemon, when they got them, when they acquired them, almost every single one of those studios had just put out a game and were still supporting that game, or had or were in the process of releasing one. So we got over through that time now, and now we're right back on track again with their next game should be showing up. That's why I had to laugh at people who were like, where are those games from? In Exile and Compulsion. I'm like, dude, when they were acquired, they just put out these games. Wasteland was still getting DLC when Xbox acquired them, right? Got to give them enough time to finally get a game. But we're here. We're here now. So
people yelled about Perfect Dark. They only showed you like a image and said it was being made. They didn't say when it was coming out. Just leave it alone.
No, we're fine.
Right.
We got plenty.
We got plenty of stuff. Trust me, if you like anything Bethesda does, Starfield gonna hold you down for like the next 10 years. That's a fact.
100%.
Now Dutch is in the chat.
Lemonicious.
Want to wait, Lemonicious.
Oh, yo, Dutch, you my guy.
Wandering
Come
Dutch.
on, don't join the bandwagon, bro.
Why are you gonna do me like that, dude?
You know why?
Boy.
You know why, Lemon? It's because they love. That's why. Respect.
It's out
my
of
guy,
love.
man. Wanda's my dude. Oh my god.
Hey, Pong, say something in the chat. Anything. So see if this thing worked or not.
Okay, I will.
Just like, even if it's like, F you, Dave. What is that?
I knew it was
there
you, RQ. I knew it was you, brother.
Hey, it worked.
Oh, God.
Well, we know that worked. But you got to remember that Lemon can now ban you, too. No, I'm just kidding.
We have moderator war. Let's go.
Lemon put Pong Soul in
Moderator
timeout. That's too funny.
Oh my God.
Sorry,
Rhetri,
Lemon.
what
I
are you
had
thinking
to.
about it?
Yo, bro, I love it, man. I love it.
It is good.
It's better
It's
to
a
be
good
talked
time
about
here
than
tonight.
not talked about at all.
Exactly.
Especially in the things we doing.
Right.
Goodness. That's so awesome. Over 90 people in the chat right now. Thank you all so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it. If you guys got questions for these guys, don't hesitate. Even though we got topics we're coming up with, but if you got something you want to talk about or something you want to, just bring it up in the chat. And we'll do our best to get it to these guys, as long as it's not too offensive. Just get Pong's like, I gotta go. My camera's turned off. Rhetri, what are your thoughts on this?
Are you talking about the Avowed thing? Oh, I don't care. Like the whole Avowed thing. I'm with these guys. Like it's
ready for
it's a nothing burger. Yeah. It looked good to me. It looked like an Obsidian game, the game that I wanted. I understand it needs more polish, but as soon as that popped up, I started doing research on regular timetables for alphas and all that jazz. So this is actually ahead of schedule if you bother doing any research. So they're more than good. I just wanted to throw this out there just to quash anyone that was going, like this is bad news. They're actually ahead of the game. So this game will probably be more polished than any game they've done in a long time. So it's actually good news. So
yeah, it is. It is.
I guess.
I know
Go
we
for
got.
it. Go for
I
it.
know you got topics coming up. the kind of our thumbnail topic, I think we can probably get through that pretty quick. But it's the it was the revelation of the trial, which we're getting ready to talk about, that all the goodness that's been coming out of the trial. But the big thing for me was exclusivity of a game that's like, a lot of people are like, oh, and then hello, Spider-Man is exclusive for PlayStation.
Phil made that clear.
Why not have something for the Xbox? I mean, crazy.
Yeah, little Indiana Jones action coming our way, just the Xbox and PC, which I gotta say, I was surprised. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I assumed Disney would want the most amount of money, so I don't know what Xbox gave them, but good for them. Like, we've been saying forever that they need that zeitgeist, that game that people just know, that the regular Joe knows just by the title, right? And this is one of those things. This is your Hogwarts. This is your, this is kind of like, it's like a Spider-Man IP. Just everyone knows Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're not into gaming, it's just like Indiana Jones. So yeah, Pete Hines kind of dropped a bomb during this FTC hearing, and said that that Indiana Jones is going to be exclusive to the system. So I know obviously FTC was trying to do a gotcha moment, right? But what are your thoughts? I'll go with you first, Dragon. What are your thoughts about the exclusivity for Indiana Jones coming to Xbox and PC?
First of all, people buy consoles for exclusive stuff, right? There's always games on a platform that brings you to their ecosystem. Halo is my thing on Xbox. Mario is my thing on Nintendo Switch. And God of War is my thing on PlayStation, right? See, this shows you how uneducated the FTC is when they ask these questions, right? Because if you did some homework, you would know everybody has an exclusive title, right? So Indiana Jones is big. I think Elder Scrolls is going to be another one that's going to be big, because why play nice? Sony's not playing with you. They tried to get Call of Duty for themselves to pressure you out the business. Microsoft has to play the same game Sony's playing. You got to take your titles, especially all of us are older guys. We grew up on Indiana Jones. That is important to us. Now, the title sounds good. Now the game has to be good, right? It's not just, Indiana Jones come to the platform and then it sucks. Has to be good, right? Has to be iconic. It got to be something fresh out the box. But I'm loving that Microsoft is playing hardball, because for all you people, I've been saying it in many party chats. Stop thinking Phil is a punk. He heard about Starfield going to be exclusive. He said, you know what? I'm getting tired of this. We're going to buy ZeniMax. Be taking Redfall from you too. And they're tired of it. We're looking at all this court craziness, and the questions from the FTC is just crazy. It's about time y'all play hardball with these people. They're trying to cut your throat at any given opportunity, like they did Sega. Now, we all old enough to remember when Sega got put out the business. We didn't have Sega games for 3.5 years. Nobody wants to go through that. You don't want to see nobody fail, right? They get this deal with Activision. They're gonna be looking everybody eye to eye now. They don't need it, but it'd be a great accolade, right? They need to do that. They need to do it. Just stop playing. Listen. You want us to take you seriously as consumers, because most of us is Xbox fans, right? You may have another platform, but your preferred platform is Xbox. Mine is. Stop playing with these people. Go out there, get these deals like Sarah Bonner's stomping fire out of all these deals in Game Pass. That's not Phil. That's Sarah's job.
Yep.
She's knocking it out the park. They need to continue to make Game Pass a situation where people need it in their life. Not want it, need it.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
There's a difference. This case came out, I was like, yes, about time. Because I've spoken to Phil several times. I'm telling you, he's a nice person, but he wants to win. He wants to win.
people think because he's a nice guy, oh, he's not. Maybe they need to kick him out and put Sarah in there. Or no, he's the right man for the job. When you kick some, you poke the bear that seems like he ain't gonna do nothing. They talking with their wallet now.
When you poke the bear says, "Can I have $70 billion so I can go
right.
get?"
Listen, that's not. This is the biggest deal ever in gaming. Ever. Nobody said, you know what? Here's $69 billion. We want all of that.
Yeah,
biggest deal for Microsoft.
For Microsoft, yeah, not even gaming.
$2 trillion
Microsoft
company. This is their biggest one ever.
Yeah,
right.
Which is
so,
nuts.
Listen, don't get them your titles. All right, y'all can have Call of Duty. They're gonna generate billions off of that anyway on your platform, right? But you keep the good stuff. Y'all not getting Starfield. You want Starfield? Build a PC for $1,000 to run it, or you spend $500 and you get in that ecosystem. Either way, you're gonna play with us. No matter where you play, you're gonna play underneath us. And that's what they should be doing. Because Sony, they locking in Final Fantasy, they locking in all these Japanese titles. They can't even advertise Sifu on Xbox. They can't even say it. That is ridiculous. Who makes up these contracts, and why would these companies, why would these third parties sign these deals? So no, if you got to go out there, talk with your wallet, and you put your foot down and say, listen, y'all not getting that. They're not getting it. If you're upset as a consumer, you know what you got to do. Starfield's waiting for you September 1st.
Amen.
I ain't mad. I'm tired of this BS, man. Sony, I didn't know how bad Sony was. You know, I got the Sony VR. I'm a Sony player. I got all the collectibles of God Awards and Bushido Blades and all this craziness, right? So I'm dove in that ecosystem, but I don't want to see my Xbox ecosystem go anywhere. That's why I play every single day. I pick up my VR 3 times, maybe in a month. Nah, you gotta do what they do. You gotta do what they do. You gotta play hardball. And from this court case, it showed you he got big mechanical nuts. He's not playing with y'all. Big old
fire with
nuts.
fire.
Right.
Fire with fire.
And plus, it's big bait.
Speaking my language,
they really can't play that money game with Microsoft. That's why he's scared.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later. But just saying, I'm happy they did it.
Rhetri, I'm gonna let you read this real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Spartan661, $5 super chat. I'm just dumbfounded by the FTC and knowing my taxes, are paying their salaries. I'd pay more taxes to have someone with some actual common sense laugh out loud. Yeah, I mean, I guess for us, it's good that they're this bad at their job because we want this to go through, right? But the second this, after this happens, maybe we need some new people, working under the FTC because they are just, I don't know what the hell they're doing over there. But
and Pong, it's our money. I said that yesterday on the Dragons Den.
Yeah.
I said these are the people who's making business decisions and consumer purchases for us.
Yep.
I don't care if Microsoft get Activision, right? I just want Call of Duty to survive. I play it every day.
Right.
I don't care. That we don't generate no money. We still got to spend money to play these games. I just want my games to survive. I've been a Diablo fan since '97. You think I want that company to fold because they're going through whatever they're going through with the people walking out, the all this craziness? I need the games that I love to play to be around. I've been that player since '97, since PC, before it even hit console. I love Diablo. You think I wanted to lose? You think I want to go through what we all been through? The gaming crash? Do y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nightmares. Nightmares. So, I'm sorry. My bad.
No. You're
conversational
good.
podcast,
What are your
man.
thoughts about? It's conversational, man. So we'll be back and forth. We'll be all over the place, especially with this case, because the way this lawyer did this crap, I have to go all over the place, guys. It's the way this was laid out. But Pong, what are your thoughts about Indiana Jones going exclusive to Xbox?
Yeah, I mean, again, as a gamer who is in the Game Pass ecosystem, I don't care. As long as it's Game Pass day and date, that's all I really care about. But let's look at it from the business side of things. This is something that Xbox needed to do. This is something I think all of us here have talked about at one time or many times during the past few years, ever since the generation started, about Xbox needs to create that identity, right? That's what exclusivity does. Like Lemon said, the reason why you pick one console or one ecosystem over another in a lot of ways is the exclusive content that you can't get anywhere else. There are going to be people buying into the Xbox ecosystem for the first time ever because of Starfield. I guarantee it. And that's what these types of games can do. Now, Indiana Jones, we've had a lot of debate over the past couple days about the importance of Indiana Jones and if this can be a big deal. For us older heads, right? For us that live in nostalgia world, this is beautiful, right? I love that Indiana Jones is coming. The Godfather that started Lara Croft, right? That started Nathan Drake. We wouldn't have
100%.
those without Indiana Jones being as popular as he once was. Now, for the younger generations, and I had this debate with Steele on Saturday because Steele is younger. And he said that, you know, he knows Indiana Jones, but he doesn't have an attachment to him like that. And he knows that the younger people don't have an attachment.
Right.
My point to all of this is that I have faith in machine games. I also know that Todd Howard has wanted to make this game for a very long time. This is another one of his dream games. He pitched this game like 8-10 years ago. I think he originally said, and it just didn't work out at the time. But he's always wanted to make an Indiana Jones game. So he's got his name attached to it. Yes, he's really heavy involved. Obviously, it's Starfield. That's his baby. That's what he's doing. They're going to get that out the door. And then he's going to start working on Elder Scrolls 6. But unlike Fallout 76, where Todd did put his name on it, it wasn't his team, but he put his name on it, and he's got to take responsibility for that. I think this time around, he will be more hands-on with Indiana Jones. And I'm sure he has been with Machine Games. So if I have the most faith in that team and him, that they're going to deliver a compelling Indiana Jones story. And my point is that we haven't had Lara Croft Tomb Raider. We haven't had an Uncharted in a while. If they can make an Indiana Jones game that is better than any of the last couple movies that we've gotten, that takes us back to when Indiana Jones was in his prime, if they do something like that, then it doesn't matter what a name's attached to it. People are going to want to play that adventure style game, that treasure hunting game. That's the thing that made Tomb Raider popular. That's the thing that made Uncharted popular.
It didn't have a name till it had a name, right?
Correct. With
till
the big set
own,
pieces. So just because people may not have, the younger generations might not have the attachment to Indiana Jones, doesn't mean this still can't be a draw at some point. Now, it's nowhere near a Spider-Man, right, in popularity worldwide, right? It's nowhere near. I'm not going to sit here and say that. But for Xbox to go and do this, and more importantly, Phil, because Phil's going against his philosophy here.
Exactly. Speak on that, Pong.
Right. Because he said this time and time again that they don't like to do these types of deals with IP they don't own. That's Phil's thing, right? He tried it with Tomb Raider, and he got railroaded. They wouldn't even let him off the stage until they confirmed that it was coming to PlayStation. And ever since then, he's kind of had an aversion to doing these deals. Now, this deal was done with ZeniMax prior to the acquisition. But the fact that when they approached, or Disney approached them and said, hey, you're now acquired, we got to redo the contract. Not only did Phil say, yes, we need to get this in the Game Pass day and date, but he went a step further, he and his team, to say, actually, you know what? We want this exclusive. What's it going to take? That tells me that Phil also understands, even though it's not, it's not the thing that he likes to do, he understands that he needs to do it. And they need to get some of this licensed IP in there to start drawing different crowds in, or to make people sit up and take notice, like, oh, Xbox is going after, like, oh, Indiana Jones. Okay, I want to see more of it, but this is a big first step here. So when this came out, I was a little bit surprised. I knew there was a possibility, right? Some of us had a lot of questions back and forth whether or not Disney would want to make it exclusive, even though I know they do it with Sony. I know that, but it's a different story.
It's a different scenario.
So I still had questions. So when Pete said this, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, this is great. This is exactly what we've been talking about. Great. Let's do this. And then just the other weird thing about this, like, they had to know this was going to come up in this case. They had to know they were going to be questioned about this.
Absolutely.
The fact that they didn't slip in Indiana Jones, like, just, I don't even care if you gave us a quick,
before, you mean?
Right, on the showcase, right? At the showcase, that they didn't just cut it in there. I know they prepared the showcase, January, February of this year.
Right.
But I would have thought they would want to control the actual reveal that this was Xbox exclusive a little bit more, instead of having it happen up on the stand. But hey, it is what it is. It came out, but I think overall it is a win for Xbox. And I think that, again, with my faith in machine games and what they can do, I really do believe they could have a start of something that could be Indiana Jones games on a regular basis, right? Or expansions to new. I've always thought this too. They could make a smaller Indiana Jones game, have it out quicker, and then do DLC where he goes all over the world on a new treasure hunt or something like that. Whatever they do with this, I think this game could be very popular. And I think that there might be more people than just us that have that connection with Indiana Jones that are interested in this game because it's such a cool concept in general that's why we got Tomb Raider and Uncharted. So I really do think this is a big W for Xbox overall. I was happy to hear it.
Can I say something about that? The young people?
The youngins, yeah.
All right, let me say this. And I'm going to say this, and I want everybody in the chat to pay attention. Gaming is popular because of us. When we was kids, our parents was not playing games.
No,
they just bought
definitely not.
So now they don't got to worry about the young people because we the ones out here spending all the money. If you look at all these podcasts, what's the most popular podcast? All the older guys, because we have the most experience.
You are correct.
Okay, so they're not short any Indiana Jones fans.
No,
any. No, because now we are the adults and our kids play what we play. And if they if they see us playing something or they hear the word of mouth, because we are the driving force, that is just what it is. Because gaming started with us, and we continue, and we're still here. All four of us right now, people in this chat, most of them is older men, older women, gaming, because we drove this force. Indiana Jones ain't got a problem, ain't got nothing to worry about. It will be played. Long as it's dope, it's gonna be played. They ain't gonna have like, oh man, we got to get the people that's 12 years old. No, you don't.
Right.
We been here. We ain't leave. No. We still here. We driving Mario and Zelda too. And Halo.
Speak the truth.
And, right. That's just what it is. Because when I was a kid, my parents was like, "That's what you want." I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't
Same
indulge.
For me, Dragon.
Now we older. We're the hip parents now. My daughter in there, I'm gonna play Warzone with my father. She's 20. So that's
I love that. All right, gents. Yeah, Big Mad Mo facts. He's right. I agree with you, Dragon. Like, everyone 30 plus is kind of the people with the money anyway, so we're the spenders. So I think the game will be fine, especially in machine's hands. So
well, somebody said earlier in the chat that they didn't know that the trial was going to have a
world premiere.
World premiere.
I thought that was my computer over there. I'm like,
sorry.
Man, that sounded pretty good.
I said that would have been great at Pete Hines right before he had to answer the question. Would have said, hold on. World premiere.
God, that would have been so funny.
Great. Can you imagine if he did that? Oh my God, I would have loved it.
Oh man!
Right,
welcome out. Over 100 people in the chat.
We got over 100 up in here. So,
shout out to everybody in the chat. Hit that like button. Share it out if you got a moment, please. It does help everybody involved.
Yes,
please.
It does.
Absolutely.
Great to see everybody in here.
Facts.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at Z Black Rider. He says, "My kids are in their 30s." Touche, Z Black. Shout out to you.
So are mine, buddy.
Yeah, my kids turning 23. Yep. So,
there you go. Yep. Time is not kind. All right, moving on. So let's get into the nitty gritty with this FTC versus Microsoft stuff. Yes. I'm gonna start off with I'm gonna try to go in order. I might have to skip around because we might just run out of time. So I want to try to hit at least the good points. But this is definitely one of them, and this is kind of how this thing started off, at least on day one. Said in a deposition, PlayStation chief Jim Ryan says that Sony would no longer share confidential details about the next-gen PlayStation consoles with a Microsoft-owned Activision. Quote, "We simply could not run the risk of a company that was owned by a direct competition having access to that information." Now, I have to rewind a little bit because I was on Boom's podcast on Friday, and I said, is Sony stupid? There's no way they would ever do this. Well, I was wrong. I was very wrong. I said, why would Sony do this? This is shooting themselves in the foot. And of course, they were asked about Sony working with Mojang, aka Minecraft, after Microsoft bought them. And of course, that discussion on what Ryan said is redacted. Now, this is crazy to me, guys. Why Sony wouldn't, and we found out later, right, in the trial when Phil was on stand, that Sony didn't give Microsoft the dev kits so they could get Minecraft up and ready for the PS5. So the lawyer's coming at him, right? The lawyer's coming at him with, well, Phil, why is it that the PS4 version, which I didn't even know this, by the way, the PS4 version of Minecraft is running on the PS5? And Phil's like, well, we didn't get the dev kits in time. Now, this is something that's just absolutely bananas to me. Now, I knew Sony was arrogant and they were jerks, but this is a little surprising. This feels like shooting yourself in the foot, doesn't it? A little bit, where don't you want, I mean, this is Sony screwing their own player base. This is Sony being petty and saying, you know what? Too bad, Microsoft. Like, we're going to screw our own player base. You're not going to get the best version of Minecraft. And maybe in the future, you won't get the best version of anything that comes from Activision or Blizzard. What, guys, Pong, what do you think about this? This is literally day one, first thing that we found out.
This is the perfect example of Sony. Again, it's the industry in totality in a lot of ways, because they think that everything is so top secret that they can't share anything with anybody. It's crazy. But the fact that you would go ahead and do this despite your player base demanding the best, that you would actually threaten to withhold your new console from development kits, I should say, from a dev studio, just because they're simply owned by Xbox, so that your player base doesn't get the latest and greatest version of Call of Duty going forward, is unbelievable. It is arrogant. It is petty. And it is something that, again, with Sony, we've seen this in the past in other forms. So here it is, rearing its ugly head yet again, in a different way. I can't believe that they would actually follow through with this. Otherwise, if they do, I mean, hey, PlayStation 6 owners, enjoy your PlayStation 5 version of Call of Duty, I guess, going forward.
Yeah. I said the exact same thing, but they already did it for Minecraft. Like, I said this, right. I'm like, there's no way they do that. But turns out the next day we found out they would. Like,
but
at least
Minecraft is different, though, right? Technologically wise, it's like different. I don't see Sony. I think, again, as we found out time and time again throughout this entire acquisition, a lot of what Sony says is BS. A lot of it has been a lot of hot air, a lot of puffing out our chests, a lot of trying to create problems where there are no problems. I mean, just nonsense here. So I think that this is another form of that they're trying to actually claim, well, they might not degrade Call of Duty, but we can't give them our new tech. Oh my God, they might steal that tech. Come on, man. Come on, Jim. Let Xbox already has a good idea of what type your new gen system's going to be. You have a good idea of what Xbox's system's going to be. Come on, man. This is just
we're all getting the parts from the same place.
And you're not
parts from the same place.
And you're not going to risk the ire of your fan base and the Call of Duty profitability, which is something that that you need to keep, even without marketing rights. That's still going to be a highly profitable game for PlayStation. There is no way he is going to shoot himself in the foot when push comes to shove at the end of the day if this ABK deal goes through. So I think it's BS.
Yeah. Dragon, what are your thoughts about this Jim Ryan not possibly giving dev kits or whatever if Activision is under Microsoft?
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I know one dude in the industry, in terms of being famous, that's petty as hell and gets away with it, and it works for him. His name is 50 Cent. Everybody else, it's not gonna work for you, Jim. Do you think Microsoft was worried about giving you a dev kit for that goddamn MLB The Show?
Nope.
If you play this game, you lose. And that shows you that they don't give a damn about their consumer.
Yep.
Because, like you said, and was my point also yesterday, y'all getting all goddamn parts from AMD anyway.
Yep.
That's the manufacturer, right? So if you go out there and you say these things, we don't believe you. You already lied about one situation. You've been lying all the damn time, but this is ignorance. Some things just don't make business sense. So you're not gonna give PlayStation dev kits to Xbox because you're pissed off because you ain't got the money to buy Activision ABK deal. You're pissed off because you can't afford it, right? You're gonna hurt your consumer. You know what's really gonna hurt? When they know they playing the PS5 version and they hear about this being the PS5 version.
Right, when they didn't have to. When they could have had the better experience.
Right?
Yep.
Call of Duty's a big one for them. That's the biggest money maker on a console. It's none of their first parties. You play that game, Sony, I would like to see your stocks after that. I would love it. Because that's not business sense. You know what I'm saying? It's not smart. You think Microsoft said, oh no, I'm not giving you a dev kit because we don't want to put MLB The Show on Game Pass for 3 years in a row. Oh no, you can't have that.
Yeah.
That don't even make business sense. So he just
doesn't.
It's like, he's always pump faking, man. This dude is weird. He gets out here and he say things. First of all, let's call a spade a spade. He's not a man. Because why don't you show up to court so you can get cross-examined? You want to be on a videotape.
Not even live, dude.
Right.
Not even live.
Right. You want to be in a room.
That's a bigger bitch move. Excuse my language. What?
I was never worried about Call of Duty.
That's why.
Hey, are they going to see this live? No, Jim, you good. Yeah, we was never worried about that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why, Lemon, he knew they had the email.
They was going to cross-examine him and destroy him on the stand, and he can't think fast on his feet. Shout out to Sarah Bond.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Shout out to
Sarah Destroyer.
Sarah killed it. Let's just say that.
Listen, man, this is it's not good business sense.
No.
I own a club that's downstairs. Imagine me saying, you know what? I'm going to rent you the club, but I'm not going to turn on the lights.
Right.
Doesn't make sense,
party.
man.
Good luck. Yeah.
Right. I'll guarantee them people won't be back.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think not.
Anyway, listen, I love this court case, like I said, because it shows that the people that's being paid to be smart, how smart they really are. And they're obviously not. Jim Ryan's is a numbers guy. He's not a dummy at all, but he's arrogant. And when you number one, sometimes you smell your own crap, right?
Yeah.
You think it don't stink.
When you've been getting away with it forever, right, Dragon? They've been getting away with it
forever. But they came in the game with no challenge. Nintendo gave up the power narrative. Sony bought all these companies because they had no challenge.
Right.
There was nobody to say, "Oh no, we want to try to buy Sega. We want to try to buy this company." Right? They had nobody because Nintendo said, "We doing what we want. Forget it. Forget the power narrative." Sega just tapped out, and here come the PS1, and swarmed up the market. Now you got some real competition, and you don't have more money, and look, and you think you can get away with murder.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes that you've been running long for 20 years, you've been getting it in. Yep. But it's at the end of the line now. Now you got somebody who's not playing with you, and now look at the stuff you're saying. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if Jim Ryan gonna last the PlayStation 6 with that attitude, because that does not work for nobody.
Yeah, you could be right. Moving on with some more FTC stuff. I'm just going to hit these points, and we're going to move on to a more spicier topic that you guys just alluded to. So the FTC was talking. They don't want to include the Switch. Basically, its console. They don't agree with its console market definition. So the FTC trying to do whatever it can to make sure that Nintendo is not part of this equation, which is just absolutely lunacy. So Microsoft wants to include Nintendo Switch in the overall console market definition, obviously, because that puts Microsoft in third after Nintendo. But the FTC wants to limit this to just Xbox and PlayStation. So Microsoft routinely looks at a Generation 9 market that excludes the Switch, says the FTC lawyer. He also dismisses gaming PCs as they're not in the same market due to, and here's a big one, price. So I ask you if it's okay. So it's power, but now the FTC guy is mentioning price. So my rebuttal is why are we counting the Series S most likely possibly the best seller? It's at the exact same price point as a competition. You just said doesn't matter. So why is the S count? So should Xbox been like, guess Series X is the only one that counts because that's the performance one, right? So I don't know. It just felt like weak sauce coming from the FTC trying to exclude Nintendo, and I'm glad to see that Microsoft is actually fighting this because this thing has bothered me since day one. Go ahead, Pong, set off. What do you think about this excluding Nintendo out of the gaming industry altogether and FTC's arguments here?
I'm happy. I'm happy that the FCC is still focused on the console. This is fantastic. This makes their battle that much more difficult. They're making their jobs, they're spreading themselves even more thin since they want to continue to have this argument over the console market when every other regulatory, even the CMA, already dropped this portion of it because there's nothing there to grab onto. So congrats, FTC. Keep going after this. Again, it's stupid. It doesn't matter how you dice it. If you want to dice it without Nintendo, there's still no issue. If you want to include Nintendo, it's a bigger issue.
That's what that's what I'm thinking, Pong. It's weird. It's a weird argument. Like, even if Nintendo doesn't exist,
right,
you're still talking about the guys who are destroying Xbox.
Correct. And
why is it a factor even if you did get rid of Nintendo? I understand Xbox not wanting to do that, but it's still a losing battle. It feels like a weird thing to harp on. It feels like a weird thing to harp on.
The whole thing is, and Phil said it right on the stand, he goes, you can say whatever you want to, but just look at the numbers. They're beating both of us month after month, right? When you go into a store, do you have to go to a separate video game section to pick up the Switch because it happens to be older? No, it's still a decision when you walk in there. It's still a system. It still plays games, right? That's the point of all of this. So again, I'm happy the FTC wants to continue to go down this road. I think it's ignorant. I think it's dumb, but this shows how unprepared they are. This shows that they are grasping at straws at this point. They are trying every which way to find something that somebody's going to believe them, that there's some issue here outside of the fact that just, hey, Xbox has got more money to spend than everybody else. Oh, well, that's business, right? Big bank take little bank. That doesn't make it a problem, but the FTC wants to try to find something. So again, it falls in line with everything that we've seen throughout this week with this court case. The FTC has no real winner. They have no smoking gun. They act like they did. They walked in there and said, oh, we're just giving you the tip of the evidence here. Oh, what? Excuse me? This is a preliminary injunction. This could kill the deal if you guys win, and you're going to tell me that you're just showing us a little bit of what you got? Well, if the little bit of what you got is the tip of the spear, you got a big giant plate of nothing. There ain't nothing on that plate whatsoever. It's empty. So don't come in here and try to change the definition of an established industry that has always, whether a console has been less powerful or more powerful, they have always been together in the same boat. They have never been like, the Switch is this whole generation thing, whatever. I know it's easier for people to understand, but still, the Switch is old, so it's last gen more than it is this gen. Does it play games? Is Nintendo releasing current games on it? Yes, they are. Right? Is this their main console? Yes, it is. This is what they're selling currently. So it counts as a video game machine no matter what. So go ahead, FTC, continue down this road, please.
Good point. I agree. Wait, you got anything to say on this before I move on to the next part of this thing?
Let me tell you something. The FTC don't know nothing about gaming. So there's no way you should be allowed to try to define what console matters. Because at the end of the day, didn't Mario Brothers sell 30 million copies at $65? Right? Smash Brothers, 30-something million copies, right? And we talking about hard copies, no sales, right? Yep. Hardware does not determine if you're a console. This is why, like Pong said, I love it. Just, first of all, the judge don't even like y'all after Friday. So
yeah, we'll talk about that later too.
keep going down this rabbit hole. Keep fishing, because as gamers, we're listening to them like, the Switch ain't a console. What? Who said this? You trying to make what you're saying a fact, like most people on Twitter. It's not the facts. It's a damn console. Doesn't matter about power. Didn't they just release a $70 game And that system's
Yep.
like what, 6 years old? Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, $75.
Crazy.
All right, but they don't matter. They talk about this game could be game of the year, but
Yep.
they don't matter.
But they don't matter. Yeah.
Listen, FTC don't have a clue. I can't wait for the next date. Please get this 3 in a row days of losing because this is ridiculous. But you know, that's it.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck,
You're
FTC.
right. Yeah.
They should have Keeley up there on the stand and ask him if he's going to create a separate awards just for Nintendo because they don't
Yeah.
I
count,
love that.
right?
That's-
right? They can't get in
Yeah.
Game of the Year conversation with
Rhetri.
everybody else.
Rhetri, read that chat.
Unbelievable.
Gee, maybe this is my buddy. Spider-Man 2 now gets to find out Super Mario Wonder releases same day.
Yep.
Well, I'm a Spider-Man fan, and I pre-ordered the collector's bundle, right, with the
Yeah.
statue and everything. Mario's going to destroy it. Oh, but no, they don't matter. They don't matter,
Right.
right? They don't matter. I'm trying to see if that cartridge is going to be $70 though. That's what we should be asking. Not who's going to win the day.
probably.
Tears of
So
the Kingdom
to,
at $70. I was like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So to jump back into this, what you guys mentioned earlier, Sony's PlayStation chief Jim Ryan believed that Microsoft the proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard wasn't about locking games as Xbox exclusives, according to a newly unsealed email. This is what Bozo said to his buddy. Let's see. Microsoft Counsel revealed the exchange between Ryan and Chris Deering, the former CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment, discussing the announcement of the deal last year. This is what Ryan said. It's not an exclusivity play at all, Ryan said. They're thinking bigger than that, and they have the cash to make moves like this. I spent a far amount of time with both Phil Spencer and Bobby Kotick over the past day, and I'm pretty sure we will continue to see Call of Duty on PlayStation for many years to come. Now, this was what everyone was saying was like the big mic drop moment. Well, we found out that this dude's been lying the whole time, and we've been calling him a liar. This absolutely seals the deal on that. There's no denying it anymore. This dude knew Call of Duty was never leaving them to begin with. Guys, thoughts on this real quick? Anything? I mean, nothing surprising, I don't think. I mean, it's a mic drop moment, I think. You would think case over, but we got to do our 5 days. We got to do the due diligence. But to me, this would be enough to call the case personally. But what are you guys' thoughts about Ryan getting caught and his emails being shown to the public saying that he never thought Call of Duty was ever leaving their platform? I'll start with you, Pong. Go for it.
Yeah. Listen, it's not a surprise. I don't know about you guys, but on all the shows I've been on for the past year and a half now, when we were talking about this deal and Jim started his nonsense, we all said it was just that's all it was. It was BS.
Right.
I mean, up front, that he honestly didn't believe that PlayStation was going to die. Right. But this shows exactly what lengths he will go to as the head of PlayStation to try to block or kill this deal by flat out going around to the regulatory bodies and lying, and then not even having the balls to show up in court to go ahead and answer to this email, right? This is, again, I have said from the beginning, if I was in his shoes, again, I wouldn't care about my image. I would care about protecting my bottom line, right? I'd probably do the same thing. Who cares, right? At the end of the day, I got to answer to Sony Corp. I don't have to answer to us gamers. I don't have to answer to the media. I have to answer to my bosses, right? So I'm going to go out there and be dirty. Business is dirty, as we now have seen in this industry. So he's doing what he thought it was necessary. But the fact that you have this email out there now in the public really undermines everything that he has been saying to these regulatory bodies. But again, this is why all the other regulatory bodies dropped the console side of this matter and started focusing on the cloud in the case of the CMA and even the EU, even though the EU did accept, I just lost the word. Anyways, they've all decided that the console market was not in play here. It was not going to be affected. And even if Xbox decided to go ahead and foreclose Call of Duty and make it exclusive, that there wasn't going to be a problem, that PlayStation will still continue to exist. And as Jim himself said, will be okay. More than okay.
More than okay.
Of course you will, Jim. Of course
Yep.
you will. You guys are still #1 in the world. You're still the most popular brand, right? It's going to happen. You're going to be fine. So really no surprise here. At the end of the day, this email, if knowing the judge has already heard most of these arguments from the gamers lawsuit already, gives me a lot of confidence that she knows what's being played here and she understands the game that's going into this. With these FTC, lawyers and with Sony themselves, she already gets a lot of this stuff. So when she sees this email, I gotta believe in her head that almost instantaneously dismisses the console side, even if the FTC wants to continue to push it. I think that's been already out of the way, right? So, you know, shout out to Jim for having this email. Shout out to Jim for being a realist, at least internally, and knowing that his company's not going to fail. That's obvious to all of us. I'm glad Jim reiterated. But really, at the end of the day, this just hurts the FTC's case even more. And they had to know it was out there. So, again, I don't know why they're pushing this side of things. I won't understand it.
It'll never make sense. Dragon, you got anything to add to this email?
Bullshit! Oh, damn.
He got a bullshit cold.
Listen, let me tell y'all something, man. This was the greatest moment of this damn trial besides, I think, Sarah Bond destroying him. Let me tell you why. Because the FCC walked into court with high confidence that Jim Ryan, the reason that they even started all this crap is because of what he said. And to see him retract those statements with this email, said we wasn't worried about no Call of Duty. We knew we wasn't losing it. We worried about other things. FTC had to be like, yo, what just happened? What just happened to our case? Yo, this guy told us this, and we based everything on what he said. Y'all look like buffoons. Yo, Jim Ryan, cast that Microsoft check. Good looking. Because you definitely special outside. That was crazy he said that. That was devastating to everything that they're proposing. This is why they're running rampant around all the crazy stuff they're asking. This is why. Because they listen to one person. This court is not about, is this going to hurt consumers? Is this fair? This is about Sony. They mentioned Sony 72 times.
Thank you. I was just going to say that, Dragon. I'm
11 times talked about the consumer.
Yes.
They don't give two damns about us.
They're negotiating Sony contracts.
Yes.
They literally are trying, and Pong is not wrong. They're literally trying to get contracts by Phil on the frickin' stand, which comes later in the day, which is absolutely bananas.
Shout out to my man Hog in the chat. Let me tell you, this is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. This is ridiculous. And they we got 3 more days of this. It's over. That statement alone destroyed everything that they based their case on. Even when they tried to tell the EU, the EU said that they was going to keep Bethesda games on every platform. EU said, no, we didn't. Nope. That is not what Microsoft told us, and that is not what we post. This is what we posted. That shows you still reaching for straws. You can't. These are professionals. Maybe they should be doing like comp cases and car crashes.
Yeah, it's like watching the public defenders, isn't it?
I think what you call them? I think they're paralegals. I know they're not full lawyers. They got to be paralegals because there's no way you getting all this money to be a lawyer and you have absolutely no clue what you're talking about.
I think the lawyer's looking at this going, this is what you're giving me? I'm so screwed. Okay,
and it's a team. It's not one dude. It's a team of them. So it's like collectively, y'all just dumb as hell. Collectively.
Rhetri, can you read that super chat?
100%. What's up, Hargeet? Hargeet Chani with the $5 super chat. FTC's case was already dismantled by their own witnesses. Yes, Hargeet. Jim on console, Google on cloud. We'll see what else the FTC comes up with. 100%. Like, it's like everyone they had, I was sitting there dumbfounded going, how did that help them? It felt like it helped us. Like, I'm literally scratching my head, waiting for articles to come out that tell me something I missed. I don't think I did.
Nope. You know what this reminds me of? When we all was rocking, we was watching Rocky IV. Throw in the damn towel. That's how they feel right now. It's over. I thought they had a fighting chance. I got so discouraged Friday of listening to nonsense because I don't like listening to nonsense that I ain't listen to it no more. My man Clown said, "Lemon, you not listening to it?" I said, "What for? It's a landslide. They can't even. It's like watching an NBA team play a high school team. Why would I watch that? This is ridiculous."
I watched it for the slaughter.
Thank you.
When the judge says you're done, you've lost it. When the judge says you're done and dismisses your witness, it's over. It's over.
Stop talking and sit down.
Exactly.
No more questions for you.
Fantastic.
Let me say this real quick about the email too. Yeah. How about this?
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting that Phil and Bobby went out of their way to call Jim and reassure him about this deal. Do you think if the banks were reversed, that PlayStation, that Jim would be calling Phil to say everything's going to be fine? I'm keeping Call of Duty on Xbox. Don't worry about it. Hell no. That should already show you the mindset that Xbox is coming in with this acquisition and that they are meaning what they are saying throughout this entire process. Because if the banks were switched, Xbox would already been buried. Okay, it would have been over with. They would have been Sega'd years ago had this been a different situation. So the fact that they went on their way to do this really says a lot about what's going on and about who should be believed in this. Yes, everybody is playing their own narrative, of course. This is big business, biggest deal in video game history, biggest deal in Microsoft's history. So yes, everybody's going to play their own side with their own narrative. But honestly, if you had to look at this from a neutral standpoint, if you knew nothing about gaming, but you knew one thing, you got to believe that Xbox is talking the real talk and that they are meaning to keep everything status quo as long as Sony allows it, and that they should not be worried about this. And again, that there is no case here for the FTC.
100%.
A big shout out to over the 150 people in the chat right now.
Yes.
Sorry, Rhetri, I'll let you get back to you.
No, I was literally just going to say what you just said. So thank you.
There you go. Good. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. Also, big shout out to Asante, who's here, Hargi Johnny, who's here, everybody else that's here. We appreciate you. And of course, a big, huge thank you and shout out to Boss Mod, Lethal Papa, who is the man.
Can I throw a shot at Asante real quick?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. Toys.
He gonna be like, "Goddamn lemon."
Yeah.
Smart
Gotta
guy.
love it. I'm seeing a lot of those lately. I'm seeing a lot of the allies popping up left and right. So I don't blame you guys. I'm so jealous.
Welcome, Dave.
Thanks, buddy.
Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
It's the Ally Alliance.
It is. It is. Pong, come to the dark side.
Sarah Bond. Let's talk about her. She definitely. I just love Sarah. But what was nice when she was on the stand is we got a little inside baseball between Activision and Microsoft. So apparently Activision's Bobby Kotick wanted Microsoft to agree to a new revenue share deal before work began on Call of Duty on Xbox on the Series X and S. Bond says it was clear that Call of Duty would be on PS5 and that would not have been good if it was not also on Xbox if it was launching at the same time. So it sounds like there was a possibility that COD could have got pulled from Xbox if the money didn't come out. So Activision also asked Microsoft if it wanted to bid on marketing deals with Call of Duty, but Microsoft declined. They ultimately meant Microsoft couldn't show Call of Duty at its Xbox showcase. So I think this is pretty interesting because I guess the FTC lawyer screwed up, basically kind of tipping the hat that Microsoft agreed. The typical revenue split is a 70-30 split, and he accidentally opened his mouth, as he did many times during this hearing, and let out the bag that it was an actually 80-20 revenue split for some Xbox games. Now, why does this matter? Who cares, right? Like, who gives a crap? This is corporate speak. Well, if I'm a developer and I hear that, I'm pissed because I got the 70-30, and now you might have a bunch of people coming after, Microsoft going, where's my 80-20 split? So this is something that was supposed to be sealed. This is something that was not supposed to get out there, but it did. Thanks, FTC lawyer.
course,
But
if you complain about it too much,
interesting.
apparently Microsoft will buy you. So,
they will they will just buy you. I just wanted to mention that. I thought it was a kind of a cool little tidbit of information that there was a possibility that COD, probably a very small possibility. It feels like maybe Kotick was just kind of doing like probably an empty threat, but something that, who knows, could have happened in some alternate universe or alternate future. But of course, the FTC going after Microsoft and the cloud, that was a big part of their argument. Microsoft has argued that Xbox Cloud Gaming is just an add-on feature. I don't know about you guys, but once they mentioned what most of the users for xCloud were using it for, I went, that's me. And that what they pointed out was it's not really being used for gaming as a gaming centric thing. It's being used as a testing ground to go, do I want to download this game? Let me try it for 5 minutes. Okay, cool. I like it. And I'm shaking my head yes as she's saying this. And I'm like, that's exactly how I use it. Are you guys xCloud users? And if not, are you using it at all? And if so, like in what fashion? I'm just curious. I'll start with you, Dragon.
Hell no.
No, I think that's kind of the normal answer,
listen,
right?
Just straight to the point. I was talking to my boy 100 yesterday. I said, listen, these dudes on Twitter out here, xCloud, Xbox, xCloud, do not use it.
Mm-hmm.
Why? It's good on the
you?
go. It's good on vacation. It's all right. Nah. I've tested it. I tested it on my ROG. I used it on my Surface Duo 2. I played it on my Surface Pro 8. And then I turned it off to see how it would play. Because you know why? I'm a content creator. If I don't try something, I can't talk about it. But do I use it? No. And I'm glad Sarah Barnes' numbers back me up because I don't know nobody that uses it. I'm talking about for gaming. If something comes out and I say, you know what, I'm not downloading that, I'll try it. I try it. Oh, now I add it to my hard drive. I don't use it. And it's so satisfying when they tried to, first of all, they thought she was weak. They look at her as a woman. She's an exec. She's a mild talker. And she fatalitied.
Yeah. Who was the best person on the stand the entire time? Even better than Phil Spencer, in my opinion? Sarah Bond. Sarah killed it.
She is vicious.
Killed it, dude.
And she hit them with the facts. Listen, when he asked her one question, I can't remember what it was, and it was something to elaborate on. He was like, do you think such and such? She said, no.
Mm-hmm.
And he was stuck because she thought she was going to say something else.
Right.
She didn't say nothing. Straight face. No.
There was a lot of times, Dragon, where the lawyer would say something and expecting, like you just said, like a yes, because he's like, I know I'm right. And then Sarah or Phil had to correct him and be like, no, you're wrong, and here's why. That happened multiple times over the 2-day span. It was crazy.
So no,
Jesus.
I don't use it. The xCloud is capped. That's what dudes on Twitter who want to just promote Xbox all day. I'm with you promoting Xbox, but stop lying.
Yeah.
The numbers speak for themselves. And I've been saying it for a long time. I don't use that damn thing. I don't know nobody that do. I've seen dudes test it out. I've tested out and posted on Twitter.
I think
that don't mean I'm a user.
Exactly.
Difference. So no.
Yeah. Pong, are you a xCloud user?
I have dabbled. For sure. Do I use it on a regular basis? No. I use it for Microsoft Rewards when there's a game in Microsoft Rewards because I'm a big rewards guy.
I do that too.
I use it for that so I don't have to download the game. I've used it to try games, obviously. I have used it mobile wise, laying in bed. I have used xCloud for Game Pass, right? And played games like Octopath Traveler, those type of games. I have done that for more than just a few minutes. I played hours on it. It's decent for sure. It works, but is it something that I would regularly use? No, absolutely not. And you know what was even more interesting about that whole conversation was Sarah admitting that they lose money every time somebody uses xCloud, right? That it costs them more than it's worth every time somebody actually jumps in there. So I thought that was a big point because again, it shows how nascent cloud actually is and that it isn't at this point anywhere near viable at all. So yeah, no, you know, I'm not dumb enough to not think that at some point technology couldn't catch up. I've seen way too much tech in my lifetime and things that I never would have been able to imagine actually happening. You know, to say that it's never going to be there, but right now it's good for testing games. It's good for playing games for short bursts of time, but it's not the optimum experience. And I think most people, depending on where you are, what your internet connection is like, would have that same opinion. I just don't think it's anywhere near a good enough product right now to rely on for everyday gaming, in my opinion. That's just where I'm at.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell Stadia?
Right.
Right.
And
I
they
said
had
this
the best one too.
From the time of iteration on many podcasts and dudes. You know I'm a heavy tech guy, Pong. Y'all all know.
Oh yeah.
I said, listen, this is not gonna work. Oh, I'm on podcasts. Oh no, Lemon, there's gonna be no consoles. I said we won't be alive to see it. I said, Stadia, I don't care about Google's money. They're gonna be bleeding money and they're gonna shut it down.
Yeah.
Yep.
I said it on everybody was like, "Oh, you crazy? Oh, no, you're not thinking far deeper, farther enough." I said, "Okay." Nobody wants to play on cloud. Nobody. It's not something you dedicate yourself to. Ain't nothing better than hardware. You know, lag, no screen tearing, no interruptions, nothing. So you trying to tell me people just gonna say, "Oh, I'm just gonna get Stadia." You see how that worked out?
Yeah, not too good for Stadia.
Right. It didn't work out on them on the stand either.
Yeah, it definitely did not.
It did not work out.
Stadia, it's Google. Most of us predicted that was going to shut down before they started. The second we heard Stadia existed, we're like, that's Google. Like, that's not going to last. It was kind of a running joke. They shut down their own studios. They only gave it a year and a half. That is not committing. That is not even trying.
No.
That's just it didn't work out right away. It didn't make us rich right away, so we shut it down.
I said the same thing about Luna. I don't know if y'all be paying attention to my tweets, but I tagged like 15 people and said, "What did I tell y'all about Luna?" Same scenarios. Not about Amazon's money. It's about bringing the consumers into your ecosystem. It's not about how much money you putting into it. You could put $50 billion into cloud streaming. If we don't buy it, it's useless.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. 100%.
Everybody's like, "Oh, they got money. They got money. They got a lot of money to burn." That's what they got.
Hey, Rhetri, this had popped up a little earlier, but go ahead and read what Hargeet said.
Hargeet Johnny, xCloud is pointless. Local hardware is getting fast enough. Have the ROG Ally, no need for cloud. I'm kind of, in the beginning I was maybe suckered into the whole cloud talk, and I'm like, maybe that's the future. But then the more I thought about it, the more I agree with Hargeet, and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It doesn't.
With mobile is just catching up, and their chips are fast as hell. So yeah. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. U.S. internet infrastructure. Oates is saying U.S. internet infrastructure is actually terrible. 100% correct. By the time you upgrade, these handhelds will be stronger than a Series X in your pocket. Absolutely 100% agree with that. Yeah. The United States is known for horrible infrastructure. That's why, I've heard stories for years that Africa is going to leapfrog United States because they didn't have the infrastructure. They don't have to dig out all this crap underneath our homes and whatnot because they didn't have that stuff. So they're like almost everyone's going to be way beyond the United States just because of infrastructure itself. But I did want to bring up this little funny point that the FTC lawyer was talking about. He says to Phil, "Do you think Microsoft Gaming lost the console wars?" Asked the FTC lawyer. So Phil says, "As the console wars is a social construct with the community, I would never want to count our community out." He's going like Matrix there. I love the console social construct thing there. He says they're big fans, Spencer answered carefully. "If you look at our market share in the console space over the last 20 plus years, we're in third place. We're behind Sony and Nintendo in console share globally." I just really, really enjoyed him kind of bringing that home, saying, "Hey, don't forget Nintendo. By the way, we're last." And that that console war BS. That's a construct of the community and people on Twitter who just want to pick their favorite plastic box. So I just thought I thought that was interesting by Phil.
But why would they bring up? Why would they bring that to a courtroom?
Right.
Well, that's
because they got nothing, Lemon. Because they got nothing.
Right.
Question.
It's like
That's the question
I'm
of the
like,
day.
you asking about console warring? Like, what are we? Holy cow!
Yeah. And Phil's probably sitting on a stand.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Exactly, Dave.
Oh man!
Like like Phil was getting frustrated with this guy. He goes on to ask him, "Do you view Sony as an aggressive competitor?" Sony is the market leader with a considerable capability and aggressive competitor, says Phil. He says every time we ship a game on PlayStation, Sony captures 30% of the revenue that we do on their platform, and then they use that money among other revenue that they have to do things to try to reduce Xbox's survival on the market, says Spencer. I love that he says that again and reiterates this whole they're just trying to make us smaller thing. He says we try to compete, but as I said, over the last 20 years, we failed to do that effectively. Now, I know a lot of people on the internet, shocker, had an issue with Phil saying this, like it's all the fetus or whatnot, but he's on the stand, guys. Like he's just telling the truth. The truth is the truth, right? And that's Xbox's truth. They've been in third. They've been in third forever. They've been in third for 20 years, which is why this thing should go through, right? And it just makes sense to anyone with logical thinking and a brain in between their ears. But we know the FTC lawyers is just reaching here. Is just reaching for something, like some gotcha moment.
Get something back when he pull his hand back, but he's not gonna like it.
Yeah. He's trying to get a pile of poo.
Keep reaching.
They go on to go after Phil about AAA content. The FTC is now questioning Phil Spencer about AAA content. It is your view that Microsoft needs a predictable cadence of AAA content for services, asked the lawyer. I think Phil says, I think our customers need content that they know ship dates to invest in our platform. Yes, says Spencer. He also agrees that Microsoft needs this type of content to drive acquisition of users for Xbox. The FTC is also pushing Spencer at this moment on how many AAA games come out each year. And obviously those are small portion of the overall market because mostly it is indie games, of course. But I just thought, was anyone scratching their heads here besides me? I'll go to you, Pong, wondering when the hell Microsoft was going to start talking about Sony's AAA games. Like it seemed like it took forever for them to rebuttal because it was just the FTC going after them about Minecraft, Call of Duty, every AAA, Redfall. They even mentioned frickin' Redfall, for God's sakes. It just seems weird. Like I was sitting there waiting for the rebuttal from the lawyer going, what about Sony? Which they ended up doing later in the day. But is this just another odd argument when Sony has so many more exclusives for the FTC to go after Microsoft for the small amount that they're trying to get exclusive for stuff they're buying?
I'm not gonna question the tactics per se of the Microsoft attorneys. I think it was all calculated to a certain degree. I think that they didn't want to. I think that the way that they coached all the witnesses, because when the witnesses were given an opportunity from Microsoft to respond with a answer that would say, well, but Sony, they did do that. Like every time they were given that opportunity, they were spot on, right? So I think the attorneys wanted to make sure that they didn't give off the impression that every single one of their arguments was going to be a whataboutism. I think that the numbers speak for themselves, and I think the judge sees all the documents. I mean, again, there was so much documents provided, and she already heard these arguments again with the Gamers lawsuit, that I think the Microsoft attorneys probably just wanted to stick to whatever the FTC was doing. Right, whatever the FTC was going to be asking, that they were going to make sure that they came back and allowed the Microsoft execs to respond with clarifying answers that the judge was going to be able to understand, right? That the judge was going to get more information. I heard that time, the bits and pieces that I was able to listen to it live and then reading through everybody's feeds about what was happening. It seemed to me that they really had a really tactile kind of way of doing this, that every time the FTC asked a question, right, the Microsoft attorneys were ready for it. So when they got when they got their chance to cross-exam, then they would ask Sarabon, they would ask Phil to expound upon their answers a little bit more and allow them to give the judge more information about exactly what's going on. And what I heard from everybody was those moments where they were like, I'll just give the example when Phil was, questioned about Indiana Jones going exclusive, right? When he was questioned about Indiana Jones and the deal that they redid, Phil was ready with, here's a Disney property, a Marvel property with Sony and Spider-Man. They've got that exclusive. We needed our own exclusives, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was answering that way. And then he also did have later in one of his responses where he did point out, well, Nintendo and Sony both have more exclusives than we do, right? And he said that. So I think every opportunity was taken. Maybe I see your point that they could have been more direct in the cross-examination of asking those questions directly, but I think it was on purpose that they didn't want to seem like they were just passing everything off, that they were there to answer the tough questions without always going to Sony, like without always doing that.
Good point.
For the judge, right? Because the judge is the only person in this courtroom that matters. She is the only one. So I think a lot of this was directed and built around that idea. Hey, we're going to make sure the judge understands we're here to answer the real questions in a professional manner, because we do understand this deal should be, scrutinized, right? We've never said that this deal shouldn't be scrutinized, right? And we're going to do it the right way. We're not going to come with whataboutisms every other turn, unless it's obviously clear that we have a moment where we can go ahead and say something about it that is meaningful to what we're doing business-wise. And I think that's where I'm at with. That's my opinion, at least.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I think the only reason I said that was because I listened to, you're talking like hours and hours of listening to this nonstop. So I'm going, when's it our turn? When is it our turn? When is it our turn to go? Sony does this, that, and the other thing. And Phil did mention later, but this was the ass end of day 2 when this happened, by the way. Correct. He did mention like Final Fantasy and other stuff like Spider-Man as well. So which was good, because I was just like, hopefully I want the judge to understand that the other side not just does this, but does this way more frequently than Xbox ever wished they could.
And what's really, really impressive here, Rhetri, too, is the judge. She's engaged. Again, she has a baseline knowledge, and you could tell because she asked Phil directly what you just said, Final Fantasy, and it sparked my memory. She turned and asked Phil, so is Final Fantasy a big series? And she allowed Phil to say, it's a big franchise, one of the biggest franchises that is being kept off of Xbox. Absolutely. So I thought that was really good that she was listening and also asking her own questions to gain her own knowledge, right? I thought that was really great as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There were things during the trial, and it came back to another shake your head moment where the FTC lawyer was trying to make these situations where it would be beneficial for Microsoft to degrade Call of Duty on the PlayStation platform. It's another one of those things where, like, is this real life? Like, is this happening? Like, are they really talking about this? Why would Microsoft sacrifice themselves and their own reputation to do these sorts of things? It just amazes me how weak their case is that they would go to, you might make the game worse on PlayStation. It felt so weird to me listening to the FTC just constantly talk about Sony, like Dragon talked earlier, where they were almost never, like, I can't even remember them talking about consumers, but I can remember them mentioning Sony a million times over and over again. I know Phil said something in regards to this, Call of Duty acquisition, them saying that it might be lesser than on PlayStation. He said it's a different question than whether Microsoft might withhold games altogether, something that means it would lose sales from PlayStation, but also would streamline development. And that's when they were talking about possibly not bringing Call of Duty onto PlayStation, which never happened. There was so many instances where the lawyer was talking about old emails and conversations that Pete Hines and Phil had, and where they were like, well, you said in this that back in the day, that these games from Bethesda, or these games, if you did get Activision, wouldn't come to PlayStation. And then the rebuttal was, yeah, but then they did. And then we changed our mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it was just very odd. Not only that, but we're offering a 10-year contract for Call of Duty. So what are we talking about? And that's kind of how I felt like at the end of this. But yeah, I don't know, guys. This was just,
I don't know who I don't know who they working for, the FTC or Sony.
right. I mean, that's what it felt like, Dragon. Like that's what it felt like when I was watching this. It was Sony. One cool bit that we did find out was that Microsoft tried to buy Zynga at one point. They were in talks of buying Zynga, which of course ended up going to Take-Two. But they were in talks with Zynga, and I guess from Microsoft's point of view, Zynga wasn't big enough. Zynga wasn't a big enough player in mobile, because we all know this is really about mobile. They weren't big enough in the mobile space. So it was interesting to see that they actually tried to step in the ring and take over that, but it just wasn't good enough for Microsoft, I guess. But I do want to say shout out to everyone that is here tonight. We got over 160 people listening right now. So thank you guys for chatting it up over here. Definitely appreciate it. But I just want to mention, before we head out or anything, all the talks about listening to this, I could hear the the judge getting frustrated with the FTC lawyer. She actually cut him off multiple times. I don't know if you guys listened to this live or you just heard it or whatever, but Judge Corley cut off the FTC's lawyer during Phil Spencer's questioning right at the end of this. She says, this was from The Verge. It feels like Judge Corley grew tired of the FTC's questioning of Phil Spencer earlier. Judge Corley cut in when the FTC was asking if Spencer would legally bind Microsoft into keeping Diablo on PlayStation. This is so weird to do this. A Microsoft lawyer objected, and Judge Corley said, "Your point has been made. Move along." Then later, Judge Corley directly cut off the FTC's questioning of Spencer after the regulator's lawyer, once again stepping in poop, asked if Spencer could make a Call of Duty commitment for bringing the game to a Sony PlayStation cloud service. This is what she says. She goes, "I don't think that's it. I'm going to cut off the questioning there." That's what the judge says. Then I guess, according to people that were there, they say there was an audible oof from the few members of the audience watching, from the MLX reporters. I just thought that was funny. What do you guys think about the judge and her kind of demeanor when it comes to maybe I almost said Sony side. See, they already got me. The Microsoft side versus the FTC side. Where do you think she's thinking? Where do you think she's maybe leaning? What are your thoughts about that?
First of all, she's a judge, right? We all know she's been there, done that. She know what these people are fighting for, right? But let's just be real here. It almost turned to a goddamn negotiation where they tried to make him say things on the oath, so he has to keep it later. That? We know what they did, and she saw it. She has more experience, obviously, than these lawyers had. What the hell was you thinking? First of all, this case is not supposed to be about what Jim Ryan told y'all. Every single thing they have spoke about is what this dude has been flying around crying to everybody. They have nothing brand new to talk about. And reaching, like, it got to the point where the FTC's lawyer was questioning him. And so you're going to say that under oath, this, that, and the third. And he's like, I've said it many times. We're not taking Call of Duty off of PlayStation. And now you want to bring up, would you put it on a cloud service? That's not what you're supposed to be asking. They ain't none of your business. So now you want to propose some type of business deal. So later on, if they don't bring it to their cloud service, well, you said under oath. What you going to do, lock them up?
Yeah.
Like, what's next? It's crazy. I couldn't believe that. But I'm glad the judge had enough sense to put her heels down and say, enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
And they wasn't questioning Phil Spencer. They was badgering him.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah.
And the
You got
judge
Phil
got tired of
Spencer,
it.
who is Phil Spencer was on the stand for an extremely long, so
Facts.
many times, guys, that they had to take multiple breaks, including lunch. That's how freaking often Spencer was on the stand. Versus you got freaking Jim Ryan, who cried about this forever. It was such a big deal to him that not only did he show up, not only did he not even show up going live for Zoom or whatever, the guy did a pre-recorded like 45-minute thing, and no one could hear it. Gee whiz, I wonder why. You know what I mean? Because as we said, if Jim was to get cross-examined here, he would have been fucking roasted. That's just
That's
the truth.
exactly
He
why
would have been
said
absolutely
That's
roasted.
why it was tape only. That's exactly why.
I don't
because
know why
do
they
cross.
allowed that though, Dave.
Can't cross-examine a tape.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Why did they allow that?
And that's the thing. The judge, she
Thank
can
you,
actually
Dragon.
go
I'm with
back at him
Dragon.
later if she wanted to. If she decided, I think I need to hear from Jim himself that we need to get him on the line.
Shit his
She
pants.
can actually order that. So she.
I
think she's already made up her mind. To be honest.
Yeah, look, the FTC's
I'm
probably
with
like,
Dragon.
no.
Like, how
We
do you
don't need
allow
him
that?
here. We don't need
Yeah.
him.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe it is over. Maybe maybe we're just going through the freaking process here,
Formalities.
the due
Motions.
diligence, formalities, and going through the motions. But I was thinking the same damn thing, Dragon. How the hell is a $70 billion deal and the CEO doesn't fucking show up? Like how do you allow that? How do you, as the court
and
system,
is the
think that's
only
okay?
opposition.
That's weird to me.
He's the only opposition to the deal.
Yeah.
Take-Two, all these other companies don't care. They don't care.
Bushido. Shut up, Bushido. These people. Don't try to get me canceled, you dick.
Reggie, read that super chat real quick.
Spartan 661 499. Sony has played dirty through all these years. Xbox entered the gaming console and made it better. Sony doesn't like it if other consoles are better. Facts. 100%. 100% correct there.
Exactly.
Yeah. This thing, I mean, we still got, I guess we're going to find out supposedly on Friday what happens with this thing when it apparently wraps up, right? So we got a few more days to deal with this.
She'll make her decision the following week, probably after the 4th of July.
So what are your thoughts
that
on
probably
that, Pong?
makes sense.
Huh?
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, on
Leave
what?
Dragon first, and we need to go to you.
Oh no, you don't need to go to me. I've said enough. No, I just thought it was. I thought again, it shows the mind. It shows the state of mind that the judge is in at this point. And like Lemon said, and like I said earlier, she knows the game that's being played here. She understands what is going to be tried to be implied. And the minute that these FTC attorneys are up here trying to negotiate for Sony, that's not what this case is about. Again, this is the preliminary injunction.
It's not their job.
This doesn't even if she doesn't grant the preliminary injunction, doesn't mean the FTC case is dead. They can still continue to try to go down this road with their whole process and get it, into their court.
Yep.
So all this is just for the judge to determine whether or not she should grant a preliminary injunction, because she believes at the end of the day that the FTC actually has a case. So the FTC is doing themselves no favors by going into the weeds the way that they have. They are doing themselves. They can't stay on track because they don't have a clear road to victory. They never have. They knew this was going to be a mountain to climb, and they didn't bring their boots. They didn't bring their rope. They didn't bring anything, because this is a mountain that's impossible to climb according to our laws in the United States. Those are already clear. Again, when somebody like the FTC, when a government body is trying to go outside of the bounds of the legislative process to change laws that have been well established, and you are trying to forge new ground, that's what this is supposed to be, near impossible task for you. That's why we have the federal court system. And yes, I know that our federal court system doesn't work all the time. It certainly isn't close to being perfect. But when it comes to mergers and acquisitions, when it comes to monopolies, when it comes to all these set cases, you can go look back through history, and history is entirely on Microsoft's and ABK side in this one. Entirely. Absolutely. There is no precedent ever being set. And most federal judges, yes, they've done it before. Yes, certain judges have gone outside the bounds. Don't want their courtroom to be the one that sets a brand new precedent for mergers and acquisitions. They want their courtroom to be the one that sets a brand new precedent for, 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 rules or laws that haven't been written through the legislative process because it looks bad on them. So again, she is just had enough of this in the weed stuff. And, again, the FTC, if you want to make an impression on a judge, that's not the impression you want to make where she says, enough of this, Mr. Spencer, you're dismissed, call your next witness. Like that's like the complete opposite direction if you want to go. I got to ask everybody.
She did 4 times, by the way.
Yeah, she did 4 times. Right.
Yep.
And that means she's understanding and she's listening. And I want to ask everybody here before we get out of here too.
Yeah.
Right. If they had this hard of a time with Matt Booty, with Pete Hines, with Sarah Bond, and with Phil Spencer, what is next week going to be with Bobby Kotick, who has about $300 million golden parachute on the line and is built for this moment? Like, you're not going to mess with Bobby's money. Again, most hated man for a reason, and he should be. But when it comes to business sense and his pockets, this man ain't going to get up there and screw up. And you're going to put Satya Nadella on the stand?
Bingo.
Bro, I can't wait till Satya gets up there with that smirk of his.
Wait.
And he's just licking his chops.
Composed.
Right.
He's
and
so
he
composed.
understands the entire business of Microsoft.
So
Think
this
about
is
that.
about
He's
competition.
the head. Right.
Let us have competition.
How do you exactly? How do you think this is going to play out for the FTC next week, guys? How do you think this is going to play?
Finish
Well,
him.
yeah, go ahead, Dragon. Go ahead, Dragon.
That's
Finish
it. I just know they look like clowns. They don't look like professionals by any means. Means. It just come on. We're not execs. We're not big CEOs of these companies, and we're like, what are y'all talking about?
Mm-hmm.
We know the market. We play in this market. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, if you had, like I said, I would watch more deeply. I'm not watching the rest of the week. What could possibly happen? It's gonna get worse because y'all just throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Eventually I'm gonna get one.
Yep.
If one ain't gonna be good enough, y'all down. They down bad. They are down bad. So it is.
Yeah,
what it is.
I think they're going to close over them. I don't think this injunction is going through like the FTC hopes it's going to. So at least, I mean, there's also a little bit of hopium there too. I just want to pull the Band-Aid off. I want this shit over. I want to move on to the next acquisition. I know. Yeah, I know. I just want pieces of it to be over, Pong. You know what? I'll take a tiny win. I know the whole thing isn't going away. But yeah, so my last question to you guys though is kind of on the reverse of that. If they do get the injunction, we've heard rumors supposedly, I haven't seen this with my own 2 eyes, but supposedly somewhere in the paperwork, it does say that Microsoft might walk away from the deal altogether my question, of course, is, do you believe that? And do you think Microsoft will stop fighting for this if they lose in the injunction? That's my question, you guys. I know my answer, but I'm just taking tally from everyone.
Can we pause for just 1 second, guys? Just real quick.
Yep.
Hitman just became a channel member, and then he ended up gifting 10 memberships.
Oh Jesus, Hitman! Wow.
Wow. So check your link out there.
Brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's they're in the chat as to who got gifted. Guy, thank you so much, sir. That was so awesome of you, man. Greatly appreciated, dude. Super nice of you. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut the show off, but
No.
that's
where
especially we're a new channel and everything, and this
we're
kind
a
of
new
stuff
channel.
happens.
All that means a
pretty
lot
awesome.
to us, especially since now you guys can get our extra awesome content, which we'll explain to you. Well, Dave will explain to you what that is at the end. So you get extra time with us, you lucky duckies. But anyways, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for gifting those. It's extremely generous, and thank you. Us being a new channel, it means the world. It really does. So I'll ask you guys. I'll just go back over the question again. If they lose this, the injunction itself, do you see Microsoft stopping and not taking this any further? I'll go to you, Dragon. What do you think, brother?
If they lose this, the deal is dead. That's just it. That's just what it is. And then we could all stop talking about this crap.
You'll be happy either way.
Like what they could beat out the CMA, but if they lose this right here, it's over. Just leave it. Just leave it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just leave it. Go buy 10 other companies and make them pay that way.
So you don't think if they don't, this happens. You don't think they should take them to federal court later on?
What,
Get their,
they in federal court now? Yes.
Well, we're talking about. Well, this is the hearing. I'm talking about the injunction. I'm talking in like if the judge sides with the FTC for the injunction,
Right.
do you think Microsoft continues the fight and takes the FTC to federal court?
But that's where they're trying to drag it out for 2 more years.
Right. That's what I'm. Well, I guess
they're
that's
trying
the
to
question,
frustrate
right?
Microsoft where they tap out. So if Microsoft got a fighting chance to win, I think they'll pursue it. But how much longer you think they're going to continue? At some point, you got to say, you know what, this is some BS. Unless it becomes egos and say we're going to win regardless.
Yeah.
So and nothing's factual. We haven't seen no facts coming out of Microsoft. It's all been speculation what people think they might do. You know what I'm saying? So they haven't said yay or nay. You know what I'm saying? So I think they should pursue it. If they really, if it take 2 more years, things take time, right? Do it. It ain't like you don't have the money. It ain't like you working on your last check. You got plenty of cash. I say go to the end till it's completely dead. You know what I'm saying? So, but if they win, we won't have to be worried about this.
Yeah. It's probably a question that is useless to ask, but I figured you never know. You never know what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like saying if you buy a lotto ticket, you gonna win. You like, I don't know. So are you gonna stop playing?
Yeah, exactly.
You gonna stop playing? I don't know. I'm gonna stop playing. I'll be there.
Know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like,
I'm gonna take the $1 I
saying?
won. I'm gonna spend it on the next lotto ticket.
Right. So it's up in the air. But
Rhetri,
Pong, what are your yeah?
Oh,
did you do it
Pong.
again?
He did it again.
Yep, he did it again.
Hitman.
Shout out to Hitman.
Holy Christ.
Literally
Thank you
being the
so much.
Hitman.
And again.
Jesus.
Holy
Dude,
shit.
Hitman gifted another 10 memberships.
That's
Shout out to
awesome.
Wow.
Hitman. Shout out to Hitman.
Hitman.
That's awesome.
Hitman, thank you so much.
That's facts.
You're amazing, and we greatly appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to be adding some more emojis tonight. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we got some work to do.
I do have a whole bunch in the bank ready to drop. We'll be dropping those tonight.
That's fun work. That's fun work.
It
Let's
is.
go.
Yes.
It is. Oh, so
Pong,
go ahead, Pong. I'm so sorry to interrupt
Pong,
you.
what do you
No
think?
worries.
Do you think like if this goes awry for Microsoft that they'll stretch this out and just keep fighting the FTC in the long fight here?
I don't run million, billion, trillion-dollar companies, so I don't have any clue. But I've said this from the beginning. My outside opinion is, yes, I say that they would take this all the way to the Supreme Court if necessary, for a few different reasons. Number one, it's setting precedent for all future acquisitions going forward. And this is a precedent that not only affects Microsoft and Xbox, but affects the entire gaming industry. And that weight is on Microsoft. It just so happens to be they happen to be the best positioned when it comes to money and time to fight this one all the way out if they need to. And I think that they understand that. Number two, Satya's legacy at Microsoft is well established. He has done amazingly well for Microsoft. But I don't think he, as a person, wants to leave something like this close to the goal line undone.
Yeah.
I think for him, he can taste this deal. There are 2 regulatory bodies left. Yes, I know there's some smaller ones undecided. There are 2 major players left, the CMA and the FTC. I think that there is no way he looks back when he steps down at Microsoft. And let's be real, he's already been at Microsoft for a lot longer than most CEOs, just like Phil has been for Xbox. I think Satya wants this one. I think this is now personal. And I think that he wants to get this job done. And again, with that added extra weight, knowing that they are responsible for allowing the FTC and the CMA to go out and do something unprecedented here, just because they so happen to be a big tech company, but also the ripple effect that will have not only in the video game industry, but other industries as well. If you allow the FTC to make you roll over in this case, I don't think they want to be the ones known for that. So I think that they are going to fight this. Yeah, I think they're going to fight this one all the way through. If I had to put my money on it, I'd say they're fighting this all the way through, no matter how much we might not like it because it holds Xbox from doing other business, all that kind of stuff. I think at the end of the day, it's too big. It means too much to the future, not only of Xbox, but again, their position within this industry and Microsoft overall with the Azure servers. I think that they want this one that bad. I think they will drag it. I think they will take it all the way.
Yep. All right. So my opinion is, yeah, I agree. like Pong made up a good point. Like a lot of us gamers are like rolling our eyes, are like, Jesus, like if this were to happen, are we going to do this for another year? That's the part that absolutely sucks. That's the part that none of us want, right? We want them to move on. We want them to buy Asobo. We want them to buy all these other companies. Would be great for Game Pass. But yeah, I have to agree. I think that this is the biggest deal in the history of the company. It's too big. I agree. I don't think Satya wants the L. I think he wants the W. And I think it's just too much money. They need to get into mobile. They want the floodgates to open. And they see that. Remember, I don't know if you guys were listening, but there was some redacted information from Phil and to the company, to Xbox. We know for a fact now that this $70 billion deal is worth way more than $70 billion to Xbox. That's how big of a deal it is. So you think $70 billion's a lot? They couldn't tell us the number. But it almost sounded, I'm just guessing here, but because the FTC guy had to, circle around it, it almost sounded like it was freaking double. Like it sounded like the number was extremely higher than 70 billion. That's how big of a deal this is to them.
You also got to realize they're getting the ABK deal at a bargain. They're worth more than $70 billion.
Yep.
Yes.
That's
Paying a
day
premium, but it's still a bargain.
Right. It's a bargain price.
Yep.
It's like, all right, we want to get bought, we'll give it to you for this.
And
they could easily be over $180 million with all the stuff they got. Easily.
Yeah.
So
and their next big battle is the mobile market, right? They're gearing up.
That's what they want.
Need this. Zynga is off the table. Take-Two bought them.
They're gone.
Right now, King is your big play, and that's their next big battleground is Google and Apple. They need this. They absolutely need this.
Because they want that storefront.
They
don't want to do that xCloud crap. They want a storefront. That's their next huge hurdle to overcome. But I think they're going for the long run for sure. Absolutely.
Okay, so what I've got to say about this is
yes.
Satya takes a stand next week. Okay, Kotek takes a stand next week. Friday, or Thursday. I think it's Thursday. Maybe it's
Thursday.
It's when they hear the closing arguments, the final decision from the judge, and the judge is going to side with Microsoft. And 10 days after that, they are going to close over everybody. It's going to be done. And within that 5 days, you may even see the CMA go, you know what, let's go ahead and just get this done. Because they don't want to look like an idiot. So
again.
Exactly.
We know how they're not good at math. So
and shout out to people in the chat. Shout out to King David.
Let them know you guys are in my DM. King, what will we do? We will hold the line.
I love hearing that. Because it's a good sentiment for all of us, man.
Because we've been here. We've been through all the pain. It's paid off finally.
Yeah.
Pong Soul watch come September.
There you go. There you go. Pong Soul, 108 Dragons TV, Lemon. My guys, I cannot thank you guys enough for being here tonight. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I mean this. You are both pillars of the community, and everybody knows you and everybody loves you because you guys are amazing, and we greatly appreciate your time tonight for being on here. So thank you so much, and we'll start with 108 Dragons. Tell people where they can find you, please.
Well, as you see on the screen, man, it's 108 Dragons TV. My name is Lemon. I do unboxings, tech reviews, gameplay, streaming, gaming news, you name it.
He does it all, man. I see this man. He does everything.
It'd be greatly appreciated. Y'all slide to 108 Dragons TV, man. Follow me over there, man. The YouTube channel is definitely been doing great numbers. And I'm a small channel, but the numbers is just crazy right now. So I appreciate everybody. Dave, Game Pass Daily, Pong, so you know you're my guy. Listen, thank y'all for having me. It's very humbling. I love
100%.
I love doing this game of life, man. And when we was younger, we could only imagine what we're doing today in this gaming space. So it's a pleasure for everybody to be listening because they could be doing something else on this Sunday evening. So I greatly appreciate all y'all in the chat. And y'all showed up tonight. I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they did.
Appreciate you, man.
They did. Pong Soul. Tell
sir.
everybody everywhere they can find you.
First of all, I'm really confused. I thought your name was Lemonius.
I knew. I saw Pong. I'm like, he can't help himself. He's
shocked.
gotta say something.
I thought we was over that. Pong. Damn,
I
yo.
thought you
man.
slid out of here safe. Nope.
No, I was just really confused there for a minute, right? So, oh man, shout out to Dirt Gurgity, right? No, good shot. Listen, it was a pleasure, absolutely pleasure to be here again. Humbled and honored every single time I get an invite. Doesn't matter what the podcast is, but to spend the night on a Sunday with a bunch of brothers who I absolutely love, a part of this community. I've had the pleasure of doing this with all of you previously. It's always great, and I love hearing everybody's thoughts on big things happening in this industry, right? That's what this is about. It's fascinating to me. It might be, over it. A lot of people are over it, but it's still fascinating to me because we got a peek behind the curtain. Actually, the curtain's been pretty much torn off at this point, and we got a lot of stuff that we never know about our favorite industry, our favorite hobby. So thank you all, brothers, for all the great talk tonight as well. Chat, you guys are absolutely amazing. Showing up, showing out. Tons of familiar faces, obviously. That's why this community is the best, man. It is so amazing to do all these different shows and see everybody showing up and giving love and giving support. So nothing but love and respect to back to each and every single one of you who make these shows possible all the time. So thank you all for being here. Pong Soul Xbox, Pong Soul Twitter, you guys know the drill there. Next week, I'm not on panel anymore, but I'm still part of the family, so I always do this. Double Barrel Gaming is the channel. Mr. Boomstick is the man. Tuesdays, it's Xbox Factor Podcast. Every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time, all good things green. Thursday nights, Fun Speculations channel, PM in the PM, Pong and Mav in the PM. Got to come check us out. We got something building great over there. Every Thursday night has just been an absolute blast. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. Back on Fun Speculations channel Friday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. That's Xbox Ultimate, where we have a bigger panel. We have a ton of laughs. You never know what's going to be said there, but you do know we're going to talk about games as well. So join us there every Friday night. Saturday mornings, it's me and my brother from another Steel Rain for Living Split Screen. That's right. We start your weekend the right way, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. We are on mission 1K. We are about to break 900. So if
I was just going to ask you, you guys are real close.
We're real close. We are doing it organically. Let's put it that way. All right, folks. So we do one show a week, but you get 2 shows in one because we go 3+ hours, normally 4+. So do your chores, leave, come back. Steele and I are still going to be talking because we love talking. Come check us out. Living Split Screen. Split Screen's all one word every Saturday morning. And then Saturday nights, the Shop Podcast. PTK Blam, who's been in this community for over 6 years. The man is just a dude, and he's one of the best hosts out there. Come check us out there. It's PTK Blam, Fuzzy, and myself every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Otherwise, folks, it is the golden age of gaming. The best time ever to be a gamer. Take it from a bunch of dudes who've been gaming for decades. If you haven't been gaming that long, you might not know, but trust us, this really is the best time ever.
It is.
Get out there, play what you love what you play, and I'll talk to y'all real soon. Thank you very much.
Some of us has been playing when you still trying to get out your father's penis.
That is correct.
I love it. We end with Dragon saying that. I love it. Look at the spice.
Happiness for everyone. Yes. Rhetri, tell everybody where they can find you.
Listen, this show's for the kids. You're welcome. Thanks. You can find me. You can find me Game Pass Daily. Game Pass. I can't even think right now. Game Pass _daily on Twitter and Game Pass Daily on YouTube, where I do all the stuff about Game Pass, which I'm a shill for. I love it. What can you say? It's the best deal in gaming, right? And of course, you can find me every week here with WEBDAVE at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, as Pong said earlier, the Xbox Factor Podcast. I'm lucky enough to be on that every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Boom. Umbra, what's up, Umbra? I see you in the chat. You late, but it's fine. And Danny, I love those guys. Good time. So thanks for coming out, chat. Thanks for everyone killing it with the super chats and all the subs and whatnot. We appreciate you, and we're gonna try to do our best. We're gonna do better as time goes on. So it's just gonna get better from here. Hey, and now we're in 1080p, guys. We just doubled our quality. So there you go.
There you go. And also just as a quick reminder, everybody, if you get a chance, I put it in the chat again. Rhetri is just about 30 subs away from getting 500, and that's the new benchmark for being able to do super chats and stuff.
They
'cause he
lowered
has
it
some-
for. Thank you, YouTube.
Rhetri.
They lowered it for people like me.
Just kidding.
Oh,
No.
Tom.
But you know what?
Right?
And
They
that's- and that's-
they reset a lot of my stats.
Oh, there you go. There you
I
go.
was like, yo, what is YouTube? I'm like a gnat on a horse. Like, what are y'all doing in my channel? All this, I got developer interviews, all this big stuff happening in E3 and PAX. Why y'all do this to me? All this hard ass work I'm doing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Everybody's information, by the way, is already in the description below on the YouTube channel. So if you can't remember what they said, just go down and click. I put all that in the chat already. It's in there. So, and also this also will appear on the SoundCloud, and so it'll be there as well, the audio version. So, and I'll put the link out for that. I'll retweet it back out here in a little bit. But guys, thank you all so much. Rhetri, great show as always. You guys are amazing, and thank you again so much for being here tonight. And thank you for everybody for joining us here
My pleasure.
on the Gamers Council.